Today, the battles in the Big East continue as the Pitt Panthers looking to get their season on track behind the running game. Visit the Carrier Dome to take on the 4-1 Syracuse Orange, led by second-year head coach Doug Marrone. It's the Big East Network Game of the Week coming up. Welcome to the Big East Network Game of the Week presented by PNC. This afternoon we're in Syracuse, New York, as Syracuse hopes to push their 2010 record to 2-0 in the Big East. This is the season opener in conference play for the Pitt Panthers. Last year, Pittsburgh led the nation with 47 sacks. Well, big number 97, Jabal Sheard, has picked up the slack this year. 5 sacks, 11 quarterback hurries. For Syracuse, Max Suter named the Big East Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against USF. 8 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. USF held without an offensive touchdown. Hi, everybody. Along with former Pitt quarterback John Congemi, I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us. And, John, I know you look at that Pittsburgh-West Virginia series, the backyard brawl. That's the big rivalry. But these two schools have great history. You played in it. Doug Marrone played in it. You played against each other. Listening to you guys talk yesterday, sounds like there's more buzz this year than in recent seasons.
I think so, and I think in large part to Syracuse. But going back in the history of these two football teams, whoever's the most physical during this matchup, that usually shows you who's going to win the game. Look for the physicality today.
Well, we'll find out in just a couple of minutes more on this ball game. But first, let's get you caught up to speed with the rest of the Big East Conference. 2 games already in the books starting on Thursday. West Virginia going to 5-1. They're number 1 in total defense in the Big East, and those numbers won't hurt that status. And speaking of numbers, several players could get the game ball in that shootout in Louisville last night. With Cincinnati coming out on top 35-27. And Rutgers taking on Army. First college game played today at the new Meadowlands Stadium. But, John, let's go back to Thursday night. West Virginia's win over USF.
West Virginia had an excellent first half, and they were led by their quarterback, Geno Smith. 2 touchdowns on the night against South Florida, and he had plenty of protection to go deep early to Brad Starks. And this defense was running around. They did a terrific job as the entire team played well. But last night, Cincinnati found a way to win. Zach Collaros, 5 touchdown passes, 3 of those going to Armand Binns. But Powell had an excellent running night for the Ville. Did a great job, 2 touchdowns. They're going to be a team to reckon with in the Big East Conference. And for Rutgers, it's Chase Dodd, the young quarterback. The freshman did it all against UConn, found ways to stay in the pocket and make plays, not only with his arm, but with his legs. Keeping plays alive was the key for Rutgers, who needed a spark on offense. They found it in the young freshman quarterback, and he'll get his second start of his career today against Army.
And Chase Dodd for that performance against UConn. He was named the Big East Offensive Player of the Week a week ago. For more on that Rutgers-Army game, let's check in with our Big East insider. Now here's Eamon McInerney.
Thanks, Mike. And obviously Rutgers head coach Greg Schiano wasn't in any mood for suspense this week, as he made the announcement on Monday that Chase Dodd would get the start against Army. Now on Monday, Coach Schiano said that Tom Savage was still dealing with some pain in his right hand, but on Thursday, Schiano said that if Savage were to have to come off the bench and play in a backup role, he would be able to do that and play through some pain in his right hand. No quarterback issues at all for the Cincinnati Bearcats, obviously. Zach Collaros with 5 touchdowns. But I spoke to Butch Jones this morning, and he was just as pleased with his team's defense in the second half, especially in the red zone, forcing Louisville to kick field goals, and then at the end of the game, thwarting that chance by the Cardinals when Louisville looked like they were going to tie it up. Now, West Virginia on Thursday night looked impressive against South Florida, but they had to go to a hook and lateral play, and Coach Bill Stewart told me this week they needed a spark. They couldn't get anything going on the offensive end, so they wanted to take advantage of South Florida's aggressiveness and speed to the ball, and it worked like a charm. Now, conversely, Coach Stewart very happy with his defense and its team speed. He thinks they're doing a very good job shutting down opponents, just like they did with B.J. Daniels on Thursday night. And Mike, Coach Stewart, a very interested observer of this game, since Syracuse travels to Morgantown to take on the Mountaineers next Saturday.
Thanks a lot, Eamon. And Coach Stewart, not the only coach in the Big East that has taken notice of the way Syracuse is playing. Doug Marrone telling us yesterday they have a long way to go, but at 4-1, right now he's pushing all the right buttons.
Well, Mike, last week it did a lot for their confidence to go on the road and beat a good team in South Florida. I think Coach Marrone brings toughness, he brings leadership, and the way he packages his message, it's very positive. And I think they feel it around campus, and they definitely feel it in the locker room. And a guy that has done a terrific job so far throughout his 6 career starts is Ryan Nassib, 10 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. This is a guy who has a knack for making plays at the right time, and the big key for him today, not to take bad plays and make them worse, because you don't want to give the Panthers a chance in this football game.
Dave Wanstead lost 4 offensive starters on the line, 2 very productive tight ends, the quarterback, but yet the focus is always on that running game. Dion Lewis, 1,799 yards last year. Now he's taking a back seat to Ray Graham.
Well, he was the Big East all-everything in Dion Lewis. He has 60 attempts this year, but only 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. But his counterpart, Ray Graham, has done an excellent job. He's picked up the slacks with 5 touchdowns and 536 yards. Now, Lewis will start the game today, but it won't be long until you see Ray Graham in the mix.
Pittsburgh and Syracuse, the second oldest rivalry in the Big East Conference, and Syracuse, they want to make it a rivalry again. A victory, they're 2-0 in 2010. We're back with the kickoff after this.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Unfortunately, the breakfast scones will be replaced by breakfast muffins. Additionally, meat and cantaloupe will unfortunately be eliminated. You're asked to bring in your own fruit, perhaps even something handheld. Maybe that's an apple. For some, that might be a banana. All right, let's just keep it rolling. Page 79. Unfortunately, I'm called upon to review the dry erase board rules.
Today's Big East Network game is brought to you by PNC, for the achiever in us all. Champion, it's how you play. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Liberty Mutual Insurance, responsibility. What's your policy? Tradewinds Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Go long, our beach is open. The Principal Financial Group. It's time to rebuild your financial future with the Principal Financial Group. Vonage, sounds good. And by the 4th annual DirecTV SEC Big East Basketball Invitational, December 8th and 11th in both Louisville and Pittsburgh. Back in Syracuse, Pittsburgh has won the toss. They've deferred. Syracuse will have the ball. And before they get it, let's check in with Eamon McInerney.
Well, Mike, you mentioned there is a buzz in Syracuse today. They're hoping for an orange out, the most anticipated home conference game since 2001. And the key word up here in Central New York is belief. The players believe, the community and fans are starting to believe, and Doug Marrone told the team, our job this week is to go out, win, and validate that belief.
Number 23, Prince Tyson Gully out of Akron, Ohio. He's a true freshman, back to receive the kick. Kevin Harper, the sophomore from Mentor, Ohio, ready to kick things off for the Pitt Panthers. And Doug Marrone says, if we continue to improve, we're going to be okay this year. If we don't get better each week, we'll struggle.
Well, they're going to continue to improve because they have the coaching staff and the belief in place that they're very close. If they can just build on the win last week, because that was a team that they out-hit, they outran, they out-executed on the road. That was a key for Doug Marrone's team last week. Can they carry it over today? That's the big question.
Here's the kick from Harper, and this Big East season for Pittsburgh is underway. At the 3-yard line. Runs into a wall, and he bounces off the wall, tries to turn the corner, up over the 25, 30, finally driven out of bounds. Prince Tyson Gully giving Syracuse decent field position, return of 30, and he puts the ball back in the hands of the junior Ryan Nassib.
Nassib last week, Mike, did an excellent job of just directing this offense. He ran when he needed to, but he was excellent in the pocket. His decision-making was the key. 10 touchdowns on the season, only 2 interceptions. He's been terrific in the pocket.
Nassib hitting 57.5%. So we'll call it 58. We're giving the benefit of the doubt there, buddy. DeLon Carter lines up behind him in the backfield. 3 receivers, top of your screen. Nassib moving that pocket, fires incomplete. Let's take a look at the offensive lineup now for Syracuse. DeLon Carter coming in averaging 5.3, 104 yards a game. Van Chute, the receiver, 23 catches, averaging 17.5 catch. Up front, Ryan Bartholomew, his 28th start, 26th consecutive start. All the other young players are new starters. Second and 10. Carter gets the call. Shows some patience, but not too much room against that defensive front. As we take a look at that defensive front, we talked about Sheard with 5 sacks. Brandon Lindsay has 4 sacks, 2 quarterback hurries, and a forced fumble. Linebackers, Shane Gordon gets the start. Greg Williams, one of the more productive linebackers, is injured. He will play today. Max Gruder moves to the middle. And in the secondary, the safety, Jared Hawley with 3 picks. He has 6 in his career now.
And Mike, Pitt's been just atrocious on third down. Can the Panthers get off the field here on the first third down defensive attempt?
Nassib fires, and this one falls incomplete. Greg Williams, we just mentioned him coming off the bench, did not get the start. Got that right hand in there as they were looking to complete it to number 80, Nick Provo.
Syracuse offensively, you can't draw it up any better. That was a good throw, good timing by the tight end, but just a better play by Greg Williams sticking that right hand up, and that'll bring Rob Long on for the punting attempt for Syracuse.
Long averaging just over 43. That's Cam Sadler. Back to receive it. He's standing on his own 20-yard line. Long's first punt. It's a good one. Sadler driven back to the 11-yard line. And he's tripped up. Gets back to the 20. A 54-yard punt by Rob Long. A return of 10 by Sadler. And here come the Pitt Panthers now. There's the quarterback, number 12, Tino Sunseri, 6'2", 210.
Tino's done a nice job of getting better each week, and the biggest thing is he just needs to continue to take that progression, take the next step, because as he gets better, this offense will grow around him.
Hitting 65% of his passes in his first year as the starter. We'll talk more about that, however. Out of the shotgun, comes out firing, and he completes his first one. And this one is going to do some damage against that Syracuse defense. Will he take it to the house? Yes, he will. That's Devin Street. His first touchdown as a Pitt Panther, and it's a biggie, 79 yards.
Well, right away, the Carrier Dome not as loud as the beginning kickoff because of number 15, Devin Street, takes it 79 yards. Just a simple screen play out to the left side. He's able to have enough gas in the tank to get it in to the end zone. Just a nice job of blocking out in front of Devin Street.
79 yards, only his 10th catch this year. Outran Damon Murkerson, who played wide receiver and DB here at Syracuse. Dan Hutchins drills it through, and that's going to help Tino Sunseri's average a little bit, going 79 on his first pass play.
Well, this is going to help confidence on the Panthers sideline. They were trying to find their identity. Well, they found 6 points on the first offensive play of the game.
Looking for a complete picture of your money? Meet PNC Virtual Wallet. It comes with a calendar that shows you all your finances at once. It lets you know when your money's going out and when it's coming in. It even tells you when you're running low. We call that danger days. It's built to help you see your money in a whole new light. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Let's go. fun. In the sandy white oasis, no matter what your pace is, you can get away, while away, hide away, break away. Tradewinds Island Resort.
For great Florida rates, visit justletgo.com.
Just let go.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual.
Hi, my name's Patrick, and I work at Overstock.com. Since 1999, Overstock has saved people literally billions of dollars. We've always put our customers first, and we always will. That's why this October, we're celebrating our birthday with a month-long sales event that you don't want to miss. We're calling it Overstocktober. Hard to say, but easy to save. And remember, no matter how big it is, your entire order ships for just $2.95. Overstock.com.
You've never seen fast. You've never held it in your hand, then unleashed it with the fingertip. Never watched pixels whip by at 1 gigahertz and had your neurons struggle to keep up. You've never seen fast because you've never seen this. The Droid Incredible by HTC. It's nothing short of its name.
Buy a Droid Incredible with Flash and get any phone free.
Big East Network game is brought to you in stunning high definition. Speaking of stunning, Pittsburgh, 16 seconds, one play, 79 yards, and John, right from the get-go, good execution right at the line of scrimmage.
Just terrific blocking out in front. One play, 79 yards, only taking 16 seconds off the clock. I was talking with a former teammate of mine, Bill Fralick, who does Pitt Radio before the game, and I said it's very important for Dave Wannstedt and his offense to get off to a fast start. Well, they got off to a huge start. That's exactly what the Panthers needed because they were lacking a little bit of confidence, a little bit of who are we really as an identity, as a football team. Well, they were able to get out in front and get a lead early. Now the question is, can Syracuse respond? They did a good job on their opening kickoff, but they went 3 plays and out. Let's see how they respond in their second offensive series.
79 yards, that matches the season-long. Ray Graham did that on the ground. So a couple of 79-yard plays, so that should keep Frank Signetti happy. I was just about to say the 65% completion by Tino Sinceri was a little bit deceiving because they lacked the big play. Prince Tyson Gully again at the goal line. Hits and hit hard at the 15-yard line. Let's take a look now at today's Bud Light playbook, John.
Well, this is exactly the way you draw it up, and this is how Frank Signetti wanted it to happen. You're going to see in motion right here is the fullback. He's going to go out and kick out, and then you're going to have a down block here by the tight end, Brock DeSico. Just a simple play, and it's going to make one man miss in the secondary, the cornerback up on top. If you can make one man miss, you can win on the outside, and you can go 79 yards for a touchdown.
Devin Street showing a good breakaway speed. Now Nassib rolling out, finds his man that time. It's Nick Provo. Tristan Roberts making the stop. Gain of 3. Let's go back and take another look at it, John.
It's exactly the way you want it drawn up. Everybody has angles to block. You get a good seal by the tailback as well. That's Lewis coming from the backfield. He sealed the linebacker, and that was the key block. No pressure from the inside. Then it becomes a foot race, and you're able to win that. You get 6 points.
2nd and 7. Second possession for the Orange after a 3 and out. Here's Carter. Saw some opening on the outside. Breaks it back inside up over the 25-yard line. Ricky Gary coming up to make the stop. A gain of 7. And that'll move the chains. First down, Syracuse.
Well, DeLon Carter last week against South Florida was so impressive. His downhill running. He was able to run behind his pads, and he's got that extra gear once he gets in the secondary, but he's tough on the interior.
Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. Carter again. This time breaks to the outside. Finds a lane over the 40-yard line. Up to the 45. Finally tripped up by Max Gruder. A gain of 18. Max Gruder, as an outside linebacker, led the team last year in tackles, moved to the inside, and he's got a lot of responsibility. They've had some good middle linebackers.
Well, that's just a good job of being physical at the point of attack. We said that word a couple times in the open of our broadcast. Who's going to be physical? Right now, Syracuse doing a nice job.
Carter again, and this time, nice job coming up from the defensive secondary. Antoine Reed to make the stop. No gain. All right, John, let's take a look now at the Principal Financial Group edge to the game for Syracuse.
Well, offensively, they want to win on first down because they want to get in good situations for their young quarterback, Ryan Nassib. And then on defense, they need to shut down the running game of the Pitt Panthers and put pressure on the opposing quarterback. And that's what head coach Doug Marrone would like to see both sides of the football do.
Nassib. Deep ball, looking. Stretched out. It's completed. Alec Lemon, that's his 15th catch. This one goes for 41.
Good job, good play action fake, and nice air on the football. That allows Alec Lemon to go and adjust to the football. The key there was Lemon gave the quarterback the outside to have him fade the football away from the defender, and just an excellent catch.
Nassib puts it up again. Boy, nice stab by number 85. That's Jose Cruz. His brother plays tight end for the Pitt Panther.
Just a terrific job of separation from the defender, and then awesome concentration. Has the football to the ground, and that's a nice play by the sophomore wide receiver.
Jose Cruz, the Hofstra transfer, along with Aaron Weaver. Weaver already out with a season-ending injury. Carter, he could pick up the first down. He gets down to about the 3.5-yard line. Let's take a look at how the Orange are doing this year in the red zone, brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Syracuse third in the Big East Conference at 80%, 11 touchdowns on 20 attempts. And remember, this Pitt Panther defense has not been good in the red zone. They're 8th in the Big East, giving up 12 touchdowns, 19 of 21 scores in the red zone. So Syracuse trying to take advantage of that statistic.
Big third down. They're 41%, second to West Virginia in the Big East. They were 30% last year. Carter. Well, Carter dropped the football, and they're going to call it a touchdown. He broke the plane, a 6-yard. Dom DeSico came up and made the apparent tackle. You know, it's funny. You look at so many receivers this year. What's a catch? What's not a catch? But when that end zone's involved, all you got to do is break that plane.
Well, this is a terrific answer by the Orange offense. They do a nice job of driving down. I'm not so sure if his knee wasn't down before the ball got to the goal line. And I think that's what the referees are going to take a look at. And Dave wants that left knee before Carter stretches the football over the plane. Did it go across before the knee touches? I think his knee did touch before the ball crossed the plane. We're going to get one more look at it coming right at us. There's the knee right there.
Good
and
ball.
I think that ball's shy of the goal line. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good call. We'll see what happens. So DeLon Carter, you know, before the game started, he was just 67 yards from climbing to number 8 on the all-time list. Last week, passing a legend here, Ernie Davis, the number 9 spot.
Well, Mike, in this situation, when you get in that plus territory, when we got a chance to speak with Doug Marrone, the Orange head coach, yesterday, they were going to try to run the football weak, and they had a seal outside. They kicked out. They had a beautiful lane to run the football in, and it was a good run by Carter. I just think that his knee touched just before the goal line.
It was interesting, speaking of Doug Marrone, he's moving the pocket early in the game. He said a lot of respect for number 97, Jabal Sheard, but he wants Sheard to know that they have a game plan for him.
Well, their very first play, they rolled to Sheard's side, and they crack down on him. They chip on him. They're going to treat him with a lot of respect only because Greg Romeus isn't on the other side to draw some of that attention away from that defensive front.
Romeus, the defensive player of the year, along with Mick Williams of Pittsburgh. Both are gone. Romeus out with a after back surgery. So DeSico, nice job of coming up.
After further review, the runner's knee contacted the ground when the ball was at the half-yard line when this occurred. The ball was placed at the half-yard line. First down.
Good job calling that one, John Congemi. So Dave Wanstead lives to see another play on the defensive side. 9th play of the drive now, started at their own 17-yard line.
We're going to take one more look just to confirm where we are on that last call. The knee touches around the 2, and DeLone trying to stretch the football over the goal line, but still had enough yardage for the first down. So that's a good job by this offense, showing some toughness and trying to get into the end zone to tie the score.
First and goal inside the 1-yard line. Carter, helmet down, not the football, and he's going to be shy. No call yet as far as a touchdown. So again, good pursuit coming up to make the stop defensively. That was a Jared Hawley, it looked like, number 18, where his helmet came off.
One of the things the Panthers have not done well this season is tackle in space. We saw DeSico tackle in space on the prior play, and now tackling in space. A good job by Hawley because he was the only one out there.
Carter again. This time he dives into the end zone. DeLon Carter, that's his 6th rushing touchdown this year. His 21st now since donning that orange helmet here in Syracuse.
You think DeLon got up in the air? That's a good job by the offensive line, getting all those helmets in gold down on the ground, and really a lot of room up on top. That's a great drive. 10 plays, 83 yards, covering 4 minutes and 31 seconds.
Last week they had a 98-yard drive. Ross Krutman, the freshman, drills it through for the extra point. And we've seen Pittsburgh go 79 in one play. And now Syracuse comes back in 10 plays, 83. And DeLon Carter up and over. Touchdown. We're tied at 7 in the Dome.
I'm a satellite dish. You tried to fix me for the game. You just made me loose. So get Allstate and protect your house and car from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
At Polaris, we designed a trail-dominating legend, the Sportsman XP, to lead a new team of smooth-riding trail runners. We made a versatile, powerful, mid-size Ranger, launching a new group of value-minded workhorses. And we made the ultimate hunting vehicle, the Ranger XP, even better, heading up a new team of hard-working hunting machines. From a #1 maker of ATVs and side-by-sides, Polaris, hardest working, smoothest riding.
Here's the truth. Your rates don't have to go up just because of an accident. Not if you get Allstate Accident Forgiveness. It starts the day you sign up. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
It's the Jets on SNY. Get behind-the-scenes access, player reactions, and a complete game breakdown on Jets Postgame Live. With exclusive on-field interviews, wall-to-wall locker room coverage, and Rex Ryan's postgame comments. Plus, host Brian Custer, Adam Shine, Ray Lucas, and Joe Klecko cover every angle with in-depth game analysis and opinion on Jets Postgame Live, presented by Toyota. Sunday immediately after the Jets game, only on SNY.
What you call the greatest day of your life.
I'll be right back.
We call Tuesday. Caesars Atlantic City, routinely spectacular.
Oh, back down on Ernie Davis Legends Field inside the Carrier Dome. We're tied up at 7-7, and John Congemi, Doug Marone told us that he's going to take a few shots down the field today.
Well, they needed to take a few shots. 10 plays, 83 yards, 4:31 off the clock, and Carter had 8 carries, so you get a little bit of toughness with the 8 carries. That offensive line gets to work up a little bit of lather, and then the big plays down the stretch. Nassib to Lemon, 41 yards, and that was a career long for Lemon on the reception. That brought the Orange down to the 13-yard line, and then they ran the football in from there. So a nice answer from the Orange coming back after the quick strike, 1 play, 79-yard touchdown pass. for the Panthers. They were able to answer and get this crowd back into it and keep this football game competitive early, because both teams, when you look at the numbers, Mike, across the board, very evenly matched. It's going to come down to toughness. It's going to come down to a couple plays on offense or defense and in special teams and who wins this game today.
That's a good point. Both teams coming in averaging 4.7 yards a carry, both saying that you have to run the football. Feltman with the kick. Sadler at the 10. Sadler up over the 25-yard line. Return of 16 yards. And Pittsburgh back on offense now. Let's take a look at the Big East standings brought to you by Tradewinds Resort on St. Pete Beach. Go long. Our beach is open.
Well, West Virginia 1-0 in the conference and 5-1 overall, but Syracuse 4-1 and 1-0 in the conference. They broke through last week in Tampa against South Florida, and the Panthers, this is their first Big East matchup, but they've struggled to get to 2-3 this season against quality opponents, and right now have their hands full inside of the dome.
This time the Panthers under center. Ray Graham left the I formation. Sinceri comes out firing. Shanahan at the 30, 35, dropped at about the 37. Darrell Smith, middle linebacker, making the stop. A gain of 12. So as we take a look at that offensive lineup for Pittsburgh, we just saw Shanahan with the catch. That's his 20th this year. John Baldwin with 24 grabs, averaging 13.4. He averaged 19.5 yards a catch last year. Up front, Jason Pinkston, the fifth-year senior at left tackle, third-year starter, 34th start. Everybody else is new up front. We'll talk about the two tight ends missing after this play as well. Lewis, stutter step, shy of the 40, dropped down by Mike Holmes. And defensively for the Syracuse Orange, with Jones, Tribby, Lewis, and Marinovich up front. The linebackers, Smith in the middle, Hogue and Marquise Spruill, a true freshman on the outside. And the secondary, it's Holmes and Merkerson on the corners, Phillip Thomas and Max Suter at the safeties. Suter and Shamarko Thomas will alternate. Suter, of course, as we mentioned, the defensive player of the week in the Big East after his performance in Tampa last week. Sinceri looking left, fires top of the field. Shanahan can't quite come up with it. And the penalty flags dropped at about the 45-yard line after the play.
This one may go against the Panthers.
After the play ended, personal foul, offense, late hit, 15-yard penalty, remains third down.
That's Patrick Garvey, our referee this afternoon. So Shanahan couldn't come up with the ball. Not quite sure who had the late hit for the Panthers right now.
So may go against Graham. He's going to come in from the left side of your screen right there with the late hit. Unnecessary because the ball was already dropped. So you have to make a better decision because you weren't in that bad of a third down situation. Now you're in third and very long, and that'll get the crowd back into this game and really put your offense in a bad spot.
And the Panthers just 35% third down conversions this year in 2010. There's Sinceri. Played high school football down at Weddington, North Carolina. Moved up to Pittsburgh his senior year. Led Pittsburgh Catholic Central to a 16-0 record, the state championship. His dad, of course, an All-American linebacker at Pittsburgh, Sal Sinceri, now on the Alabama coaching staff. So Patrick Garvey over there talking with Dave Wanstead, and they have third down on the marker, and it should be a fourth down situation now. The play actually, yeah, it was 3rd and 23, because we mentioned the fact that the Panthers were only 35% on third down.
I think it's third down, to be honest with you, because they missed the pass. The officials are trying to square this away. They have the statistician next to them charting plays. I believe it's third down.
Here's the call by Patrick Garvey. Third down, it is.
Correction. Third down. Ball will start on the snap. Third down.
Dave Wanstead in his 6th year now as the head coach. Back-to-back second-place finishes last year, losing that conference title to Cincinnati by 1 point, 45-44.
Mike, sometimes in this situation, it's not a bad idea to go deep if you can protect and give a chance to John Baldwin to come up with the ball.
Sinceri fires, and Shanahan up at the 40. Well shy of a first down. Will bring up a kicking situation. They pick up 15 on the play.
Jason Pinkston, the star offensive left tackle who's been playing well up front this season for the Panthers, down behind the offensive play.
Jason Pinkston, the injured Pitt player.
No, Pinkston, obviously an offensive tackle, talking about the loss of Greg Romeus. He said there's something special when he's down low, staring at the ball, and he's actually breathing smoke out of his nostrils. That'll make a quarterback think twice.
He had a presence on that defensive front.
Dan Hutchins now in the punt. Holmes watches it go out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. It looked like maybe it should be spotted at about the 18-yard line. A 42-yard punt by Hutchins. He comes in averaging 46. He's number 1 in the Big East. Let's take a look at the Principal Financial Group edge to the game now.
Well, Mike, offensively, when talking with head coach Dave Wanstead, they wanted to be able to take the next step in progression in the running game, in the passing game, with that offensive line. They just want to progress from last week to this week. And defensively, they needed to get off the field on third down. Last in the conference, teams are scoring at an incredibly high rate, so they need to find a way to get off the field on third down.
Syracuse coming off an 83-yard drive to tie it up. Carter gets the call. Hits the middle of the line. Jabal Sheard making the initial contact, number 97. Came in with 25 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, 11 quarterback hurries, and a forced fumble.
8 of a yard, second down and 9 from the 19.
Antoine Bailey checking into the Syracuse lineup now. I thought Doug Marrone did a great job of mixing and matching Carter and Bailey, 2 different type style running backs. Bailey gets the call, weaves his way through some traffic, gets stopped shy of the 25. Max Gruder, the middle linebacker, making the stop. He's coming off a 13 tackle performance in South Bend.
You know, sometimes Antoine Bailey gets the rap of being the speed guy or the outside guy, but last week against South Florida, I thought he did a terrific job of running in between the tackles. He was getting through the first hole in the first contact and putting Syracuse in great situations running the football.
Orange now 1 for 2, 50% so far here early in this ball game on third down conversions. 3rd and 3 for Nassib. Fires. And he threw it to the outside. The intended receiver there was number 29, Antoine Bailey. So number 38, Greg Williams. The 240-pound outside linebacker, and that's going to bring up a punting situation for Syracuse.
And that's one you'd like to have back if you're Syracuse, if you're Ryan Nassib or Antoine Bailey, because a situation on the outside wide open, if he catches and falls down, it's a first down, maybe a little bit too much smoke, and the ball was to the outside shoulder, so not a true receiver out there catching the football.
Long's last punt, 54. He's number 2 in the Big East, so we have the top 2 punters in the Big East punting here inside this building. Another good one by Long. Sadler takes it at the 31. Sadler up over the 40, dropped at about the 41. A 43-yard punt, 9-yard return. And we're going to take a timeout. 5:28 to go in the first quarter. Deadlock at 7.
Need a better way to save for the things you want? Meet PNC Virtual Wallet. It comes with a wish list that helps you set aside money for the stuff that really matters. Just put the things you want on your wish list and contribute money when you feel like it. Then watch as you get closer to getting what you want. Wishlist is built to make saving a whole lot more fun. Experience all the ways Virtual Wallet can help you save at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Look at all this stuff for coffee.
Oh, there's tons. French presses, espresso tampers, filters. It can get really complicated. Not nearly as complicated as shipping it, though. I mean, shipping is a hassle.
Not with priority mail flat rate boxes from the Postal Service. If it fits, it ships anywhere in the country for a low flat rate.
That is easy. Best news I've heard all day. I'm so amped. I mean, not amped, excited. I mean, that's sort of amped. Really kind of in between.
Have you ever thought about decaf?
You think that'll help?
Yeah.
Priority mail flat rate shipping starts at just $4.90, only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship.
Our state is in trouble. We have a stalled economy and a broken government. As Attorney General, Andrew Cuomo has taken on the tough fights and won. Now he has a detailed plan to bring real fiscal discipline to New York. Cut agencies and authorities by 20%. Eliminate the deficit. No new taxes. That will create jobs. And Andrew Cuomo can get it done. Carl Palladino has no plan, no experience, and his anger is not a governing strategy. The choice is clear. Andrew Cuomo for governor.
TBS is the exclusive home of the 2010 American League Championship Series. The best and brightest of the American League put it all on the line.
Looking up, it's gone.
This stage doesn't get any grander than baseball in October.
Unbelievable.
Exclusive coverage of the American League Championship Series begins October 15th, only on TBS.
Visit your Tri-State Ford dealer today and check out the best-selling vehicles with the best values in America. Ford, drive one.
Back in Syracuse, tied up at 7-7, Syracuse and Pitt. All season long champion apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the Big East Conference. And today we take a look at the Carrier Dome. Opened up in 1980. And last night they had an NBA basketball game here. And you can see the quick change from last night to football here this afternoon. Last night, Johnny Flynn, Wes Johnson coming back to play in front of the Syracuse fans as they took on the Detroit Pistons. And well, that's got to be a lot of work, huh? Going from basketball to football.
Yeah, it looked like when the goalpost went up, that was like the candle on top of the cake. They just kind of put the goalpost back up. But what a great job that all those crews around the country, especially here in the Dome, converting from basketball when they have to football. They just do an excellent job of keeping this field. And this place looks pristine right now.
Champion, it's how you play. And our crew did a great job. And because they had to wait till after the basketball game to set up this broadcast for college football here today. So Sinceri ready to take over again. He's hit 3 of his first 4 of his 5 now as Ray Graham takes it out of the backfield. He picks up a couple as Philip Thomas comes up to make the stop. A gain of 3.
Philip Thomas making the tackle for Syracuse.
So Johnny Flynn and Wesley Johnson back in the Dome for the Minnesota Timberwolves as they took on the Detroit Pistons. Johnny Flynn has been out with an injury, but I guess he has a sore right hand today after all the autographs he had to sign.
That's right.
Joe Dumars of the Pistons actually spoke to the Syracuse team for Doug Marrone yesterday. Graham. Oh, he slipped a tackle. He had nowhere to go as Anthony Perkins, number 55, busted through, got back to the line of scrimmage, and actually made something out of nothing.
Well, you always have to give credit to the guy that really forces the running back one way or another. 55 is going to beat the block inside of Lucas Nix. Just quicker off the ball. He guesses the snap count, goes inside, and then the rest of the guys in the orange helmets are around. But you have to credit the guy that was there first, and that was Anthony Perkins.
Mentioned Sinceri, 4 of 5 against Notre Dame in South Bend. He opened the game, hitting his first 8. Hynoski in motion. And he's going down. Under a sea of dark jerseys. The true freshman Marquise Spruill in their first, a loss of 8. And that's his second sack this year.
That's been the Achilles heel right now of the Panthers this season. Up front, their offensive line has not been consistent enough for the running game or to protect the quarterback, and Sinceri is going to feel heat off of his left side. A blur of blue coming rushing in, and then Marquise Spruill cleans up the sack for the Orange.
Hutchins on the punt again, just over the 20-yard line. His last punt, 42. Mike Holmes standing back at his own 20. This is a high and deep, and Holmes takes it. Spins away from the first would-be tackler at about the 13-yard line. 51-yard punt by Hutchins that time, a 2-yard return. And he's pushed out of bounds. by Buddy Jackson as we check in with Eamon McEnany.
Well, Mike, some very interesting twists of fate in the football career of number 11, Marquise Sproul. When he started at Hillside High School, he was a lineman, and they were a losing team. John Powers took over the program going into his senior year. One day of agility and tackling drills, he said, that kid's a linebacker. The other twist of fate, John Power used to be on the Georgia coaching staff with one Doug Marrone. Now he's a starting freshman at linebacker in the Big East, Mike.
Yeah, Eamon Sproul actually went from 0-10 and they switched him to linebacker. They won the conference championship, and Eamon was saying last week down in Tampa he had to take a double take to say, this kid's a freshman? He's got some good size on him.
He does. 1st and 10, the Panthers come up with a nice play in the backfield. Tristan Roberts was the guy that was in that orange backfield for a tackle for a loss. Guy that just coming into his own as a junior linebacker for the Panthers.
Well, Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, saying we're not a bad defensive team, not as good as we've been, but he feels they can get there. This is their opener in 2010 as far as conference play. Nassib, this one's batted down at the line of scrimmage. It looked like Chaz Alexi doing a good job along with Sheard getting those hands up. Alexi, there he is, number 98. Actually, last year, John, against Syracuse, he had a couple of sacks and a forced fumble.
Well, we talked about winning on first down as you see the tip pass there by the Panthers winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. But first down, how important it would be for the Orange. They get a tackle for a loss, tip pass on second down. Now you have 3rd and long, and it plays into the hands of the Panthers.
4 receivers. 2 split to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. Nassib felt some pressure and threw this one down low, incomplete. Antoine Reed on the coverage. The intended receiver was Van Schue.
That's a good defensive series for the Panthers coming out. They've had problems getting off the field on 3rd down. This time they do a good job of forcing the pocket, closing the pocket down on the young quarterback on 2nd down. And then on 3rd down, the coverage was just too good in that secondary. And I think Ryan almost pulled the string on that throw, not wanting to throw the football in there, just threw it into the ground. 3 drives out of 4, 3 and out for the Panthers against this Orange defense or offense.
Good rush, and this time Long's punt's a little bit lower, and it's returnable. Picked up by Sadler at the midfield stripe. A good pursuit by the Orange. Here comes Sadler, trying to turn the corner. Inside the 30-yard line, finally, Max Suter pushes him out of bounds. So Cam Sadler, the sophomore, almost returns one. A 42-yard punt, returns at 30.
That'll happen anytime that you give good field position set up by your defense. If you can get a playmaker or make a play on special teams, Sadler reverses his course and picked up some blocking, as it not from Suter on the special teams for the Orange, pushing him out of bounds around the 22-yard line.
Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tied up at 7-7. Syracuse trying to take that next step. Improve each week. Get to 2-0 in conference play. This time Sinceri working out of the shotgun. Boy, he hits from the blind side. Big number 99, Chandler Jones, got a clean shot at the redshirt sophomore quarterback.
Those are the ones that stay with you for about 2 weeks. Those hits from behind. Chandler Jones just beating Jason Pinkston from the outside. Just a speed rush, and he's going to meet the young quarterback in the Pittsburgh backfield. Just a pure speed rush to the outside, and a helmet right to the middle of the back. And that's the pressure you'd like to see if you're the Syracuse Orange defense right now.
Now back in the eye. This is Dion Lewis. Lewis looking for a hole, finds one, slips through inside the 15 down to the 10-yard line. So Dion Lewis picks up 12 on the play. And finally, Chandler Jones making the stop along with Damon Merkerson.
Shades of 2009 right now with Dion Lewis. Watch him just jump cut in the hole. Good blocking out in front, but just a little skip and jump right there. And he's able to get his body going north and south and moving the chains for the Panthers. So it'll be 1st and goal with the nose of that football right on the 10-yard line.
Last year, 1,799 yards, averaged 5.5 yards a carry. And this year, 3.4 yards a carry. Syracuse uses the timeout. They're 1st to 3 in the first half. So Big East fans, you want to win a trip with VIP access to the Beef O'Brady's Bowl? Get some sun, 4 nights of fun at Tradewinds Resort on warm and sunny St. Pete Beach. Go to tradewindsresort.com/win and enter today.
We got a glimpse, Mike, of Dave Wanstead on that Panthers sidelines inside of that offensive huddle. If you didn't think this game was tough and a physical game and passionate, take a look at Dave Wanstead. He was passionate, trying to tell his guys that they have to find a way. It's all about your will right now. When you get inside the 10-yard line, yeah, you can do some fancy things, but you have to be able to win that battle at the line of scrimmage and at the point of attack.
You talk about the 4.7 yards of carry, right across the board. They're pretty similar between these two teams.
Very similar. Yards rushing 4.7, and the points very similar, and total yards very similar.
Red zone, scoring touchdowns. Not too productive so far for the Panthers. Nice job of Burrell Smith, the middle linebacker, coming up to make the stop on Lewis. What is it, John? They're 80% scoring touchdowns last year, and right now in the red zone, they're about 42%.
And that's a key play on first down. They've not been able to get productive plays on first down, and there's the stat you talk about, Mike. Last year, 80% touchdowns in the red zone. This year, just over 42%, and they're not being productive on first down, so that takes away a little bit of their running game, and they've been relying on the young quarterback to try to score touchdowns instead of field goal opportunities.
8 touchdowns, 19 red zone possessions. Second and goal for Sinceri, and there's some movement on the left side. That's Mike Cruz, the tight end.
Full start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Now, John, earlier we talked about some of the guys missing from last year. Nate Byam, Dave Wanstead said he was dominating blocker. He was a beast. He's in the National Football League. Doran Dickerson, he had 10 touchdown receptions and 49 catches last year. He played tight end. He's also gone.
Well, you lose 3 starters on that offensive line, but you have to count those 2 tight ends, as you mentioned, and that was the nucleus of their running game, and that made it so much easier for Dion Lewis to pick and choose when he wanted to hit the hole or bounce it outside.
Still second and goal, but pushed 5 yards deeper. Sinceri turns, looking. Graham has him. And is he in for the touchdown? No indication yet. And yes, it is. There's a touchdown. Graham, 15 yards as he beats Damon Merkerson. So Sinceri now with a couple of touchdown passes. That's 7 for the year.
Sinceri coming back after that big hit laid on him by Chandler Jones. It looked like the linebacker, Spruill, just tripped a little bit, and the safety could not get back. Merkerson, the corner, could not get back. There was a lot of air underneath that football, and it should have had enough time for Merkerson to make a play, but a good throw by Sinceri brings the lead with the extra point to 14-7.
You mentioned earlier in the broadcast, both runners, Graham and Lewis, coming in with 60 attempts. They both had 11 receptions as well. And all the coaching staff, Frank Cignetti, Dave Wanstead, said it's just a coincidence. It wasn't by design. 22 yards, 4 plays in less than 2 minutes. So buck 52. And Ray Graham scores on a 15-yard touchdown reception.
Just a great job by design. Everybody's going to go to the inside, and the back's going to run a wheel route to the outside. And this is a good job of just letting the football get some air underneath it and letting your running back go outside and catch the football. I believe the linebacker tripped and took a bad angle. He went underneath, and really the receiver, the running back, was able to get over the top of the under coverage, and Merkerson could not get there in time. So a good throw to the corner of the end zone by the young quarterback Sinceri, and a good catch by a running back coming out of the backfield.
You know, at the top of the broadcast, their first possession before that 79-yard touchdown, we said Sinceri was 65%. Frank Cignetti said it's a little bit misleading because we're not hitting the big play. There are big plays out there. We're not finding them. We're not accomplishing that big play offense. But right now, Sinceri, what's his confidence factor right now after 2 touchdowns?
I think it's got to be huge because that was the one thing he stressed. The offensive coordinator, Frank Cignetti, said we're missing the big play this year in our offense. Well, so far, a 79-yarder. They get a big play on special teams. Cameron Sadler, instant field position, and they convert on the opportunity.
Harper's kick. Belly inside the 5-yard line. Found the lane, and he gets stood up at the 25-yard line. Coming up to make the stop. Colby Gray doing a nice job on that kick coverage. So Syracuse now, with 16 seconds to go in the first quarter, they'll have it over the 25 at about the 27. Ryan Nassib and company coming in, averaging about 370 yards of offense this year. So far, 89 total yards. As you mentioned, they had 3 straight 3-and-outs. This is DeLon Carter. Well, you talk about physical play up front, so not too much running room there. A lot of white jerseys stopping Carter.
This game, you're going to see some big plays. You'll see some special teams. You'll see some long passes that we've seen Nassib to Lemon. We've seen the running attack try to get on track. But it's all going to come down to how the two lines play, offensively and defensively. It's going to come down to physical, tough football.
Well, we've seen an 83-yard drive by Syracuse and a couple of touchdown passes by Tino Sinceri for Pittsburgh. And we've had a good first 15 minutes inside the Carrier Dome. 14-7, Pitt trying to climb back to 3-3 and 1-0 in the Big East. Syracuse hoping to get to 2-0 here in Big East play.
It's time for the Bud Light Playbook. Today, how to work the weekend without missing the game.
What's happening? Since we're stuck here working the weekend, I hooked up the projector to show the game. And I brought in some Bud Light.
Thompson!
Excellent job.
Are they hiring? Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Jamie, you're having a great year on the track, man. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Nice job on the tour. Hey, you know what we should do the next time we win? Imitate each other's victory celebrations. We should do that. Yeah.
Check out all the great deals at Bass Pro Shops, like Redhead Backwoods Henleys for only $14.94, and the Winchester Cold Ridge Parka or Bib for only $49.94 each. Plus, don't miss our free Professional Bull Riders family event this Saturday with free kids games and activities.
Callahan, you're on desk duty. Turn in your weapon.
Movies just got more awesome. Download and watch them on the go at 4G speeds with the Epic 4G. The smartphone ranked #1 by PC World.
Attention if you have diabetes.
Hello, I'm Alan Thicke. As the father of a child with diabetes, it's important that I keep up to date with the latest in treatments and technology. That's why I'm happy to tell you about a breakthrough in diabetes care through CCS Medical. You don't need to stick your fingers anymore. This new meter allows you to test on your arm, so it's virtually pain-free. Plus, it uses gold test strips. Real laser-etched gold in every strip provides the ideal testing surface for one of the most accurate readings possible. Best of all, CCS Medical can send you this meter at no cost. With CCS Medical, they deliver your diabetes supplies to your home. They work with Medicare or your insurance to process the paperwork. They even have nurses certified in diabetes available to answer questions. And for a limited time, CCS Medical will also send you a diabetes cookbook. All this from a company trusted and recommended by thousands of doctors around the country. Call CCS Medical today.
Pittsburgh 0-2 on the road so far in 2010, but with the lead now 14-7. John, what's transpired so far?
Well, a lot of big plays early in this football game. None other than the first offensive play for the Panthers. 79 yards, Sinceri to Devin Street, getting great blocks and then showing his speed. But the Orange come back. Nassib to Lemon, 41 yards. That was a career high for Lemon. And then their running back, DeLone Carter, getting up and over the Panthers defense to tie the score at 7-all. But then a nice pass to the running back out of the backfield. Ray Graham just shows nice composure in the front corner of the end zone to concentrate on the football. Sinceri having a nice start to this afternoon for the Panthers.
And we're ready to roll into the second quarter now. First play of the second quarter. Syracuse down by a touchdown. Bailey gets the call, and the number 31 coming up strong, Don DeCicco. listed as a safety, played linebacker against Notre Dame, a gain of 4 as we take a look at the numbers. Pittsburgh with 130 yards. Syracuse not far behind, but 3 of their drive, John, ended with just a total of 6 yards.
Well, the big surprise, the Panthers using the pass, 124 of the 130 yards, through the air, doing a nice job of throwing the football and putting pressure on the young quarterback. And now Ryan Nassib making his 6th career start, a 3rd and medium for him.
1 for 4 on 3rd down so far today. Nassib over the middle. Boy, not too much running room. Again, it's down to Seco all over Nick Provo as soon as he touched the football.
That might be just short, Mike, of that 1st down.
They pick up 4 on the play. We're inside the Carrier Dome on Ernie Davis Legends Field in Syracuse, New York. Doug Marrone in his 2nd year, off to a 4-1 start. First time since 1999 as they take on the Pitt Panthers, along with former Pitt quarterback John Congemi and Eamon McEnany. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us. What's at stake for Syracuse? Well, seeking their first 4-game winning streak since 2001 and their first 5-1 start since 1999. And as Eamon pointed out, if they're 2-0, they got to go to West Virginia. So, or regardless if they're 2-0 or 1-1, they got to go to West Virginia next week. Rob Long's punt hits just outside the 30, bounces out of bounds. And so Pittsburgh will have the football back, a 34-yard punt. As we take a look down at our Big East leaders, brought to you by PNC for the achiever in us all. And we've had some good ball carriers in past years, no exception here in 2010.
Yeah, Jordan Todman's done an excellent job for UConn running the football with authority. And I thought Powell looked terrific last night for Louisville. They're going to be a team to reckon with. And Graham Carter today doing a super job for their teams respectively. And Isaiah Pete trying to carry the load for Cincinnati on the ground.
Yeah, Pete's really come on strong the last couple of weeks. Sinceri going upstairs, looking for number 15 again. Devin Street, penalty flag dropped at about the 42-yard line. That's Damone Merkerson, who had the pick last week against UFSF, saying there's no way that can be called on me. We'll wait for the call from Patrick Garvey.
Pass interference, defense number 6, 15-yard penalty.
Yes, it was number 6.
Correction, spot foul, automatic 1st down.
Merkerson trying to get tangled up on the outside, and the ball was not catchable. That's head coach Doug Marrone's argument, and that's been the problem when you talk to offensive coordinator Frank Signetti with the Panthers trying to throw the football. You're going to see the collision down on the bottom of your screen right here. Just really hand play, and then trying to go up into his route. The receiver runs in to the defensive back Merkerson. So I'm not sure that was maybe not a lot of contact for the penalty, but the Panthers are the beneficiary of the penalty.
That's a great point to bring up because obviously it impeded his progress, and he wasn't where the ball was, where he was supposed to be. Here's Graham. Ray Graham spinning down to the 45-yard line, picks up 13 more. You know, people talk about Dion Lewis and what a great year he had last year, but Graham, let's give credit where it's due. They say he took the playbook in the offseason, really studied it, and he added, 15, 20 pounds to his frame.
He got bigger. He got a bigger frame. He worked out with strength and conditioning coach Buddy Morrison. He was able to get on the field and be a little bit more athletic, a little bit more bulk of a runner, and he was been able to take the punishment that Dion Lewis really had to take last year by himself. So this gives Pittsburgh a terrific 1-2 punch.
Hanoski, the fullback in motion. Graham gets the call again. Graham spins out inside the 40-yard line. Philip Thomas coming up to make the stop. He picks up 7 more. Back in August, John Graham saying, hey, I'm ready to be an explosive second option for this Pitt team. But obviously he's become number 1.
He's wearing number 1, and he's become that number 1 option. And it's a great luxury to have Dion Lewis coming in from the sideline, but Graham's the guy that's produced the big plays. He's the guy that's been able to get the running game on track right now. So Dave Wannstedt trying to go with his hot hand, and that hot hand right now is Ray Graham.
And Graham comes to the bottom of your screen, split to the left side. Hanoski gets a rare carry, and the big 260-pounder is met by Doug Hold. So Hanoski picks up 1. You know, as far as all-purpose running yardage, Graham right now #1 in the country.
He's done an excellent job of helping out on special teams. He can get it done catching the football. We saw him catch the touchdown pass earlier in the game, and he can run behind that offensive line who's trying to get better. Right now, the Panthers trying to do better on 3rd down. 0 for 2 so far this afternoon.
Going to be Graham dotting the I behind Hanoski. It's Graham. Bounces to the outside, has the first down, and he's finally wrapped up by Philip Thomas. And Thomas finally gets some help. He's dropped at the 30. 7 more yards for Ray Graham.
Mike, it didn't look like there was a big hole off that right side. It looked like Syracuse was fitting the lanes perfectly on defense, but just a good job by Graham, who has 4 carries on this afternoon for 27 yards, making head coach Dave Wanstead feel a little bit easier about that running game and that offensive line. But here's where Pittsburgh likes to go a little bit of play action and maybe take a chance to get John Baldwin involved in this football game.
Baldwin without a catch. Here this afternoon, it's Graham again. And Darrell Smith coming up from that linebacker spot to push him back. Forward progress, the spot will give them a gain of maybe 1. Smith, a former running back and one of the top tacklers in this conference.
I had a chance to talk with him yesterday. Just a terrific young man, and Darrell does it in between the tackles. He's got the speed to run sideline to sideline. A former running back converted to linebacker and does a nice job fitting on #1, Graham, on 1st down.
He'll be our guest on Conjemi's Quarter coming up at halftime. This is Cruz. Number 85 in motion, but they keep it on the ground. It's #1. You know, it's funny you mentioned that he's wearing #1. He wore number 34 last year's rookie season, and I guess he had great foresight, huh? He said, I'm going to be...
Yeah, he had great confidence, and on the first 2 downs of this series right here, when the ball got across the 40-yard line, closer to the 30, Syracuse bringing some pressure. They did that last week on the road against South Florida, really confused B.J. Daniels and pressured that running game. On 1st down and on 2nd down, Syracuse and defensive coordinator Scott Schaefer pressuring the line of scrimmage. Pittsburgh 1 for 3 on 3rd down so far today.
This building a lot louder than it has been in recent years. Sinceri, right down the middle, looking for Shanahan. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 30 yards. Mike Shanahan has his first touchdown. Beating one of the better corners, number 35, Mike Holmes, right down the middle of the field. Shanahan, 5 catches against Notre Dame. Came on strong in that bowl game against North Carolina. He had 5 catches in that game as well.
Sometimes when you disguise coverage, you can really try to over-disguise it. And that time, on the edge, Mike Holmes was pressuring, making Tino Sinceri think he was going to come on a corner blitz, got outside of the receiver. And with that PAT conversion, Pitt goes 21-7 with the lead. But Mikey, he tried to disguise something, and the receiver, Mike Shanahan, knew where he wanted to get to. Inside the defensive coverage, wide open down the seam. The 3rd touchdown pass from Sinceri today.
Looking for a complete picture of your money? Meet PNC Virtual Wallet. It comes with a money bar that shows what's scheduled to go out, what you've put aside, and how much you really have available right now to spend on the things you want. And you can free up money with a simple slide. It's built to help make your financial life a whole lot easier. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
How is greatness made? Is it at the intersection of ingenuity and craftsmanship, or is culture the driving force? We think it's all of the above, forged into one handcrafted vehicle. And to a legendary history, we've added luxurious accents, each part both functional and beautiful. And like Harlem's ever-living renaissance, this is ours, the 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
I'm his son. And as you well know, I can barely focus on one thing at a time. So between mowing the lawn and football, I choose football. Sorry, Robert. $5 doesn't buy my undivided attention. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you might end up with a financial buzz cut. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects your home, car, and boat like Allstate.
Can a smartphone be its own guardian angel? Can it keep an eye out for itself? Literally show and tell you where it is when you don't even know yourself. Droid can with Lookout Mobile Security. One of thousands of free apps for the Droid X and Droid 2 by Motorola. Available on the ever-expanding Android market. When there's no limit to what Droid gets, there's no limit to what Droid does.
Blimpie has been a part of America's tradition for over 40 years. Our subs are made with fresh baked breads, quality meats and cheeses sliced to order. Taste the difference freshness makes. Blimpie, America's sub shop.
Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Show, we break down the highlights from the first half. Roman, some highlights from the week.
How about that battle for the keg and nails at Louisville?
And that great offensive performance by West Virginia. We're talking hook and laterals, keg and nails. It's a packed show. Sprint Halftime Show coming up.
Back in Syracuse, 9:39 to go before halftime. Pittsburgh opening up a 21-7 lead now on the Qs. And Pittsburgh going 70 yards in 7 plays in just 3:53. Capped off by another touchdown pass by Tino Sinceri. This one 30 yards.
Sinceri 6 of 8 for 154 and 3 touchdowns. And Pitt scoring drives today. You can see 1 play, 4 plays, and 7 plays, but 2 of the 3 going over 70 yards. Doing a nice job of getting the big play back into this offense. That's something they have missed. When we talked with Frank Cignetti during the week, he said to us, we need the big play in this offense. Last year we had it with Bill Stahl at quarterback. We're trying to find it. Well, today they get it with their young quarterback, Tino Sinceri, and playmakers on the outside.
Well, Shanahan now with 3 catches for 67 yards. As Harper gets ready to kick again for the Pitt Panthers, and Baldwin still no catches after coming a 9-reception performance against Notre Dame. Harper's kick is a good one. Gully back in the end zone. Prince Tyson Gully, and he's tripped up to shy of the 20 at about the 16, a 17-yard return. Coming up to make the stop, Jared Hawley. As we go back and take a look at the 30-yard touchdown strike.
Mike, Syracuse is trying to give the illusion that the safety's off the hash and the corner's going to come. But what really happens is it's man-to-man on the outside, and the safety back, number 1, Philip Thomas, takes a too shallow of an angle and can't help over the top to Mike Holmes. The safety in the defensive backfield, number 1, he's going across the field when he should be going backwards and try to help with that deep ball. It was just set up a good job at the line of scrimmage by Mike Shanahan getting inside and getting that free release.
Syracuse, number 2 in the league against the pass. As Carter gets the call, hits the middle of the line, and picks up a couple. Aaron Donald, a true freshman, number 59 out of Pittsburgh, Penn Hills High School, making initial contact there for Pittsburgh. And I said Syracuse defensive against the pass, number 2 in the league, but actually number 1 in pass defense efficiency. So this has to put them back on their heels a little bit. Scott Schaefer has to be somewhat surprised. Bailey gets another carry, and Bailey's up to about the 25-yard line. They have to get just shy of the 28 for the first down. So they'll bring up a 3rd down for Syracuse as they trail by a couple of touchdowns. Greg Williams in on the stop.
3rd down and 2.
Well, right now you're thinking if you're the Orange, Ryan Nassib has to make a play on 3rd down. This offensive line, if they're asked to run block, they got to win the battle at the line of scrimmage. But if Ryan's asked to drop back and hit a tight end or hit a wide receiver, they have to be able to make plays on 3rd down against Pittsburgh.
3rd and 2. Bailey's not going to get it. Try to push that line and push the pile right at the middle. There's Max Gruder, the middle linebacker, coming up to make the stop. Well, we mentioned that Max Gruder last year, 91 tackles, led the team on the outside, but moving to the middle, where they've had some pretty good players, that's still a pretty good adjustment for someone.
It really is. It's a tough situation to move from outside to inside because you get a lot of different angles, and you have to take angles that are a little bit different to make plays. But Max Gruder doing a nice job today of fitting into this defensive scheme perfectly, and this is the 5th time in 6 drives, 5 3-and-outs for this Orange offense.
And the scoring drive went 83 yards. Long gets another good punt off. Sadler back at the 24. So along with another 50-plus, that's 52. No return. We'll be back. Pitt by a couple of touchdowns here in the second quarter.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual.
Things different now that I'm not crushing quarterbacks every Sunday?
Yeah, a little bit. But I still have a taste for greatness.
So I love Dr. Pepper. The taste of these 23 flavors can never be equaled. Like me.
Pizza perfect nab. I got it.
Donovan.
Mike? What, man? Come on, Mike, man.
Still got it.
There's nothing like a pepper. Trust me. I've sent people to the doctor.
Sorry, Files. 3G network's backed up again.
Come on, man. We have a show to stream. I thought this is the network where you pay to go fast.
Oh, you pay, but it's nowhere near as fast as Optimum Wi-Fi.
What does that cost?
It's free.
This is ridiculous! Why are you two smiling?
We're wedding photos.
Oh.
Optimum Wi-Fi, twice as fast as 3G and free for Optimum online customers. Turn on your Optimum Wi-Fi.
In today's cars, there's self-adjusting cylinders, self-activating wipers, even self-deploying spoilers. Why not a self-cleaning engine? Introducing next-generation Pennzoil, which cleans out up to 40% of engine sludge that lesser oils can leave behind. The best cleaning Pennzoil conventional motor oil ever. Feel the clean and turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine.
Pitt Panthers come in averaging just a shade over 25 points a game. They have 21 here in the first quarter against Syracuse. We'd like to recognize our friends at Allstate for their charitable contributions across the country. Since 2005, Allstate has donated more than $2.2 million through the Good Hands Field Goal Net Program to benefit university general scholarship funds. Today's First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com as Tino Sinceri takes over again for the Pitt Panthers with 3 touchdown passes now, 8 for the season.
Pitt has been aggressive offensively, but Baldwin hasn't caught the football yet, Mike.
Well, we'll see if what happens here. Sinceri goes deep again, looking for John Baldwin, and just overthrows him. Damon Merkerson covering for Syracuse on the play.
Another situation where Sinceri has his big receiver, but the combination, when they've gone to deep balls this year, Mike, it's either been not the proper location with the football or the receiver needs to give the young quarterback a better target. Baldwin had his man beat on the outside, but it was a combination of maybe not expecting the football where he wanted it. The ball should have been thrown out in front. Baldwin would have been able to go and run and catch the football.
And that's been one of the problems this year, right? The coaching staff saying that the ball's not always where Baldwin expects it to be.
Exactly.
This one's complete to Cruz. Cruz is going to pick up the first down and then some. Well, this guy, remember last year we saw him. We mentioned the fact that Nate Byam and Doran Dickerson are gone, but when this guy played, he said, look at 6'5", 255, good size, good hands, soft hands, and this one might be coming back, though. A gain of 26 on the play, but a flag dropped on the field.
Well, they may get Mike Shanahan for a block over near the Pitt sideline. I know Dave Wanstadt was very upset with the penalty flag being thrown. They may pick up the flag.
There is no foul for illegal block in the back. First down. The block occurred from the side. First down.
So Mike Cruz coming in averaging less than 8 yards a catch.
There's the 87 right there. That's a tough call. That may be more in the back than on the side. Looks like Pittsburgh may have gotten away with that, but that's a good job by Sinceri. Good play action. Nice touch on the football to his tight end, Mike Cruz. That's a tough call. That one initially looked like it was in the back, only because he didn't get his head out in front.
Well, they picked it up, John, and actually 2 officials dropped their flag. But they picked up the flag, so another first down here for Sinceri and company. And he wants to go upstairs again, and he wants to go deep again. And a little bit too far out in front of number 15, Devin Street.
I can see the frustration in this offense when they're trying to make big plays. That play by the receiver, when he gets across the field, he needs to keep going across the football field and not straighten it up to the middle of the field. Right here, when Street has him beat, don't straighten up and stack him. You only stack him when you're on the outside. Nobody's in the middle of the football field. Run away from the cornerback and give your quarterback a much bigger target to throw the football.
And that's where the ball went.
Exactly. But you have to work on that during the week, and there has to be rules you have to follow if you're a quarterback and receiver.
There's Streets. Throws it out in the flat and fights his way ahead for 5 or 6. Max Suter making the stop for Streets. He's a redshirt freshman out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, so obviously something as he gets older he'll learn and keep cutting across the field.
Well, he'll learn when the football keeps going to the middle of the field and he's running away from it. Maybe I have to go towards it. He made a huge play on the first play for Pittsburgh offensively on that screen pass, going 79 yards. But 2 plays in a row that Pittsburgh had an opportunity to really make this a 28-7 football game. They missed just because the relationship from quarterback and receiver wasn't there.
Well, the Syracuse player's down. I'm not sure. I see a 4. Looks like number 94, Bud Tribby, the senior from Richmond, Virginia. So while they take a look at Mr. Tribby, we're going to take a timeout. Back at the Syracuse after this.
Looking for a complete picture of your money? Meet PNC Virtual Wallet. It comes with a calendar that shows you all your finances at once. It lets you know when your money's going out and when it's coming in. It even tells you when you're running low. We call that danger days. It's built to help you see your money in a whole new light. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
AT&T and BlackBerry have teamed up to keep your business moving. Introducing the BlackBerry Torch. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Big East football on SNY is brought to you by Sprint. Stay in the game with the $69.99 plan from Sprint and get way more than the other guys. Visit sprint.com/football for more details.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that. I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
You better run to Men's Warehouse. Suits are on sale, including designer brands and big and tall. Buy one and get a second suit for just $100. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports.
Jim Boeheim's basketball team here at Syracuse waving to the crowd beforehand. Now 6:33 to go. Their football team down by a couple of touchdowns. John, let's take a look now at our Good Hands play of the day brought to you by Allstate.
It was a game, play earlier. Just a terrific job by Ryan Nassib throwing the football up to Alec Lemon, who puts a lot of air under the football. Went for 41 yards, and that's the Allstate Good Hands play of the game. Good job securing the football, Mike.
29 catches as a true freshman last year. That's his 15th this year. His first one today goes for 41. Tino Sinceri and the Panthers now facing a third down. They are 2 for 4 so far here today. And they swing out to Cruz, the tight end. They're going to pick up the first down. Earl Smith with the tackle. A gain of 6, and they move the chains.
Nice play call that time by offensive coordinator Frank Signetti. They split their big target to the outside. Jonathan Baldwin outside the numbers, motion Ray Graham to the wide side and give enough room for that tight end just to run an option route or a quick out route to the wide side. So good conversion on third down.
Dion Lewis back in the backfield behind Hanoski. That's Baldwin, number 82. Lewis gets the call, and he's going to break one. Dion Lewis inside the 15-yard line. Mike Holmes drags him down. The ball comes loose, and they're going to say the ground cannot cause the fumble, so he was down with the whistle. And this Syracuse crowd will not be happy with that. A gain of 25 for Dion Lewis.
Well, there's that spark this offense and Dion Lewis was looking for. Good job of trying to strip the football out, but I believe that Lewis was down. We're going to take another look. He covers up the football. The strip by Mike Holmes. He's down right there. Yeah, the ball, his back and elbow hit the ground, and that caused the football to come out. So a good job of running by Dion Lewis.
325 carries last year, the second most in the country. Lewis stays in the ball game, dots the eye, gets the call. Tries to find a hole, cut back down to the 10. You know, Ironhead Hayward had 387 carries in 1987, and that's only because a guy by the name of John Congemi wasn't there to throw the ball anymore, right?
Ironhead was a heck of a back, and he really helped me throughout my career running the football, and I'm sure that Bill Stahl and Tino Sincere are going to take a look back and thank Dion Lewis when his time is over, because he's done a heck of a job carrying the load on the ground last year. As many times as Dave Wanstead called his number, he was able to perform, and now he has some help in that backfield with Ray Graham.
And Graham even saying that Dion Lewis didn't get to where he is by accident. He'll be back. And he broke off a 25-yarder. Lewis on the receiving end that time, and there's a lot of jerseys. Scott Schaefer looking for 7+ around the football. I think he got 8 or 9 that time.
Yeah, closer to a 10 or 11. That was a good job defensively by Syracuse. I think that the play call or the play execution was botched a little bit in the backfield, but no excuse for pursuit. That's a great job by the Orange to get to the football and cause Pittsburgh headaches on third down. They've done a decent job converting on third down, but now the Orange trying to hold this drive to a field goal opportunity, and Scott Schaefer trying to do a good job on third down. The Panthers 3 of 5 on third down so far this afternoon.
Sincere. Lewis, he's got to get to the 3, spins, and it's going to be awfully close. Looks like he picked up the first down, a gain of 9. And it's going to be first and goal for the Panthers now. Knocking on the door, already up by 2 touchdowns.
The one thing that Dion Lewis does well is turn his body and still push forwards. He's able to twist and turn. This is a nice job just setting the football down by Sincere. But watch Dion Lewis spin, move, and then still continue to go north and south. That's an art.
Both Lewis and Graham are spinners, according to the Syracuse staff. Lewis stays in the ball game now. Lewis gets the call. Lewis gets the touchdown. And the Panthers, they look like a different football team that we saw against Utah. Obviously, that was the opener, but they respected what Syracuse has done. But it looks like Dave Wanstead's crew showed up ready to play.
Well, they showed up, and they had to be ready to play, because I know the Orange came ready. They were well prepared by their head coach, Doug Marrone. But right now, the Panthers taking advantage of some big plays offensively, doing a better job defensively on third down, and that series goes 10 plays, 76 yards, taking 4:12 off the clock, tacking on the extra point. It pushes that lead, Mike, to 28-7.
Dan Hutchins still perfect in that category as far as the PAT, and Dion Lewis, 17 rushing touchdowns as a true freshman last year. That's number 3 here in 2010. Ray Graham says, hey, why can't we have 2 1,000-yard rushers?
There's no reason. If you can come into the game with equal amount of carries as the Panthers runners did today, both with 60 carries, and ironically, they both had 11 receptions coming into the game as well. So this is a team that's well balanced on offense. If they just can really find a way to get that big play, which they did today. They found the big play on the first offensive play, 79 yards. They found a way to throw the football down the field. A good kick return or punt return by Sadler set up another drive. So the Panthers, something they've been lacking is that big play this season.
You know, Dave Wanstead and Frank Cignetti obviously happy for Graham, respecting what Graham did, but when you look at 1,799 yards by Dion Lewis last year, Obviously, you mentioned 60 carries, both backs. They're trying to give Dion Lewis every opportunity to snap out of his funk, and looks like he might be doing that here today.
Well, they're going to need that in the Big East Conference. They're going to need both of these guys to run the football effectively, just as the Orange did last week. They had two ball carriers in Carter and Bailey be able to share the load. You need two good guys in the Big East Conference to run the football, because this is a very physical conference, and you're going to have to really split the carries somehow, some way.
Harper with another kick. Brings Tyson Gully at the 1-yard line for Syracuse. Up over the 20, dropped at about the 24-yard line, a return of 23, so at the 23. Joe Trebitz, backup linebacker, coming up to make the stop on special teams. As we go downstairs and check in with Eamon McEnany. Eamon?
Well, this is a big day for Dion Lewis. He just got that touchdown, but he grew up about 2 hours away in Albany, New York, and I saw his parents, Leroy and Linda, before the game, and they made the quick 2-hour drive, but so did about 100 members of their family and friends. His Pop Warner coaches are here. It looks like the number 28 Pittsburgh jersey, the most popular jersey being sold in the Dome, but they are lifelong friends and family members of Dion Lewis.
Eamon, it's interesting to know if he actually spent some time with the family. Let's tell us that story. Last year they played Buffalo. They were playing Buffalo, and Dave Wanstead lets his players spend time with family for about an hour the night before the game, and he bumped into Dion Lewis in the elevator. He said, "Hey, your family's down there." He goes, "Yeah, but I don't want to lose my focus, so I just wanted to focus on the game." And Wanstead said, "Gee, an 18-year-old kid, I might have something special here." And all he did was rush for 1,799. As Nassib goes back to work, this is Provo. And Provo picks up a few down to the 40. Gain of 5 on the play. Antoine Reed comes up and makes the stop. Well, Pitt basketball fans don't miss the action as the Panthers, Seton Hall, Notre Dame, and Rutgers compete with Arkansas, Kentucky, Auburn, and Tennessee in the direct SEC Big East Basketball Invitational, December 8th in Louisville. And this one's complete again. So he's starting to mix and match now. This is Jose Cruz. A little bit quicker tempo now, John.
I think so. We talked about it at the break. I think Syracuse needed to change something up, and they're picking up the tempo offensively, getting rid of the football, and not allowing the Panthers to get to the young quarterback.
It's amazing how you and Doug Marone are on the same page so often in those meetings. Obviously on the same page here today as well. Nassib over the middle, and this one could have been picked, and it should have been caught, but Van Chu was a little bit surprised. It came out of the hands of Nassib very quickly. It's Ricky Gary, one of the cornerbacks for Pittsburgh.
And this is something you like to do as a quarterback. When you don't have rhythm offensively, you'd rather pick up the tempo, and that's what head coach Doug Marone's doing right now. He's helping his young quarterback and helping this offense get a little bit of rhythm, establish a little bit of rhythm on offense.
Nassib. That's Lemon. That's complete. Max Gruder makes the stop, and they pick up 7 more. You look at the time of possession, Syracuse is 8th at 27 minutes plus. But those numbers might be altered or skewed a little bit from that Colgate game. They won 42-7. And John, they had the ball for 15 minutes.
They did.
15-34. It means Colgate offense on the field for 44 minutes. That's amazing. Talk about a quick play. Right now on the season, they see it 27 and 2 seconds, last in the Big East. And again, those numbers slanted, tainted, skewed, whatever you want to call it, from that Colgate game where they had it just for 15 minutes and 34.
Well, this is like where they may want to do something, unusual. Try to take a shot down the field.
There's the shot. His arm was hit, and this one's going to be picked. And Jared Hawley just pulled in his 7th career INT and his 4th this year. He leads the Big East Conference. And for Nassib, unfortunate because his arm was hit, and that's only his 3rd pick thrown this year.
Mike, a little bit of play action, but the pressure on the outside. Nassib's arm was hit in the backfield, and that was an easy interception to play center field for Jared Hawley. The ball just fluttering down the middle of the field only because of the pressure of Dave Wanstad and the defensive coordinator Phil Bennett dialing up some pressure on the outside, and Hawley gets the easy interception.
And again, it looked like big number 97, Jabal Sheard coming in and hitting that arm. Today's First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com.
Pittsburgh has 3 timeouts remaining. The ball in decent field position behind their own 30, but let's see what happens here on first down.
Up 3 touchdowns. A shovel pass inside to Graham. Graham's over the 30-yard line, and he spins away. Hard to bring him down. Picks up 4 on the play. 5'9", 195 pounds. I guess that means last year he was playing at about 175, huh?
Much lighter. Yeah. Talked about his progression with the playbook, as well as trying to put on some weight, and 20 pounds. And Buddy Morris has done an excellent job with the Panthers in that category, strength and conditioning coach there. And as we have an Orange player down on the football field.
And Dave Wanstead saying Ray Graham, even though last year he averaged about 5.9 yards a carry, he's breaking more tackles this year. Graham with 3 100-yard games. Dion Lewis with 10. Dave Wanstead back-to-back second-place finishes. Let's see, Graham averaging 4.4, and Lewis now up to 7.1.
It's still very comparable on their attempts. 13 total, but 6 for Dion Lewis and 7 for Ray Graham. And we've seen Ray Graham, the explosiveness and the toughness on the outside, but it's been good for Panther fans to see Dion Lewis go north and south and find a way to get on track this season.
Anthony Perkins, number 55, walking off under his own power. He's a 5th-year senior out of Washington, D.C. And so the Pitt Panthers, again, coming in averaging 25.2 points a game. They have 28 here in the first half. And Phil Bennett was saying it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Still a lot to be played. A lot of football. This is their Big East opener. Graham up over the 35-yard line. Doug Hogue making a stop. Hogue, another former running back. Gain of 4. Scott Schaefer saying yesterday that Hogue last year played every defensive snap. And Schaefer, the defense coordinator, saying he's never been around a football player that's played every snap for an entire season.
I think both teams are content to run this clock out on the first half.
And coming up at halftime, John Kangemi sits down with Darrell Smith on Kangemi's corner. And we'll take a look at Syracuse pressure defense and our Big East breakdown and first half highlights and stats. And that's all coming up in just a few minutes after the break. Tino Sunseri came in with 5 scoring strikes in 2010. His first year started now with 8 after hooking up 3 times for touchdowns here this afternoon. 28-7, that's our halftime score as we go downstairs and check in with Eamon.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Coach, you were looking for the big play, 3 touchdown passes. What pleased you the most with Tino's performance?
Well, I think, Tino's he's been very much in control. I would put it that way for playing in these conditions. They're putting a lot of pressure on him. Our offensive line's doing a good job. We missed a couple down the field, but we're going to keep throwing it up, and I think our running game's been successful enough to keep us balanced, which we need to be.
5 3-and-outs and a turnover on defense. How were you able to shut them down in that half?
Well, we gave up the big play on the first drive, and as long as we play smart and keep playing hard, we got 30 minutes of tough football left.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. Mike?
All right, Eamon. Dave Wanstead, 10-3 last year, the winningest campaign at Pittsburgh since 1981. And so as we head for our Big East halftime report, there's the numbers. After 30 minutes, 28-7, Dion Lewis. A breakout game. Shanahan with his first touchdown. Tino Sunseri with 3 scoring strikes. Halftime is coming up.
Student honors include 3 Rhodes Scholars in the past 5 years.
Hail to knowledge.
Faculty distinctions include top 5 ranking in biomedical research.
Hail to discovery.
Consistently ranked overall as one of America's strongest public research universities.
Hail to excellence.
Recognized as a home to happy students.
Hail to Pitt.
I'm his son, and as you well know, I can barely focus on one thing at a time. So between mowing the lawn and football, I choose football. Sorry, Robert. $5 doesn't buy my undivided attention. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you might end up with a financial buzz cut. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects your home, car, and boat like Allstate.
A certified pre-owned BMW is a smart choice. But before the rigorous inspection, before the awards, and the critical acclaim, before all of this, first, it's a BMW. The ultimate driving machine. Receive an up to $1,500 payment credit on select certified pre-owned models.
No matter what the weather's like outside, it's always like summer at Harrah's Resort Atlantic City. Relax as you and your friends enjoy cocktails at our poolside paradise. Or get your thrills playing the tables, from poker to blackjack. And then dance all night in the pool after dark, the East Coast's hottest nightclub. So ignore the forecast. Getaways are always in style at Harrah's Resort Atlantic City. Grab your friends and register now for interactive cooking classes at the Viking Cooking School.
Unfortunately, the breakfast scones will be replaced by breakfast muffins. Additionally, meat and cantaloupe will unfortunately be eliminated. You're asked to bring in your own fruit, perhaps even something handheld. Maybe that's an apple. For some, that might be a banana. All right, let's just keep it rolling. Page 79. Unfortunately, I'm called upon to review the dry erase board rules.
Welcome to the Sprint halftime show. 28-7 Pitt taking it to Syracuse after the first half. Roman Oben, Don McPherson, Jonas Schwartz here to break down what went on in that first half. It was all Pitt. Their offense looked fantastic.
Yeah, the offense did a great job for Pittsburgh. They mixed the ball up, throwing the ball deep. Clearly, they saw something in the Syracuse defense that they can get the deep ball.
The offense looked well, but I really saw Pitt really going into attack mode. They went deep a lot. They really controlled the way they dictated this game in the first half.
There's no question about it. And really, if you look right off the bat, Tino Sunseri, who had struggled previously, looked like a different quarterback today. And this, of course, the big play right off the bat helped him with Devin Street.
Yeah, Sunseri, I thought, made some good decisions in the pass game. He was somewhat conservative, although we saw him throw the ball deep, starting off with this early short pass to Devin Street, who takes it the distance all on his own. You have to give Tino Sunseri some credit for being pretty accurate with football in the first half.
Of course, at some point, an attempt at a tackle could have been made on that play. No, am I wrong on that?
I mean, plays like that are you need to get 10, 15 yards, beat one guy, but a home run in the first play of the game was tremendous for them.
And how about Ray Graham right here?
This is what I like about Ray Graham. He's a big, tall running back. He has the ability, once he gets into the secondary, to be a pretty good receiver.
And you could see Sunseri kept it going. Mike Shanahan using his size.
Yeah, Shanahan using his size. The front four was getting pressure on the quarterback, but they have to solve the problem. What's going on in the secondary? We see that touchdown.
Cuse needs more of this, more DeLon Carter.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of that drive against South Florida. DeLon Carter running behind his pads. Good back once he gets between the tackles.
And how about Ryan Nassib on this long play to Lemon?
Yeah, great long play here. You run the ball that way so you can set up the long pass play. They have to do more of this. They have to have more first and goals as opposed to 3rd and 10 is what we've seen a lot in the first half.
But we say more DeLon Carter. It is 28-7. Can they still run the ball?
They don't want to run the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball in the second half, and Ryan Nassib is going to have to get more accurate with the football and get the ball out of his hands. I think he's holding on to the football a little bit too long.
Yeah, when you're down 28-7, it really becomes a different football game. They have to throw the ball a lot more. They have to get downfield, but you still have the ability to sprinkle in a few runs. If they can get a draw, something like that for 15 yards, that's what they have to do. But they have to throw the ball to even up this score.
All right, when we return, we'll get you caught up on Big East games already in the books. The only top 25 team in the Big East in action Thursday, hosting South Florida, and the battle for the Keg of Nails last night in Louisville provided tons of offensive fireworks. Highlights are next. And the reigning Big East Offensive Player of the Week is in action later this afternoon. We'll preview Rutgers and Army when the Sprint halftime show returns. Edge of the game, and ergo, we look at the quarterbacks, and you can see Pitt and Syracuse Tino Sinceri and Ryan Nassib. What did you see out of these two? Sinceri's so good.
And Sinceri, I think, definitely looked at film and saw something in the deep game. He's been throwing the ball well in intermediate passing game, not as accurate going deep. I think that's going to be the key is for Syracuse is not to give it those big plays.
Obviously, there's a 100-yard difference in both of their numbers, but that's because of the big play ability that Sincero's done in the first half.
Now, Ryan Nassib is going to have to come out throwing in the second half. He's a young quarterback. Have you seen that he has what it takes? And he may one day. But at this point, does he have what it takes to lead this team back primarily through passing?
You know, the thing that I like about Ryan Nassib as a quarterback is that I've never seen him get rattled. And even last year when he was sitting out and not playing, he always kept his head in the game, always stayed poised. That's going to be the key for this Syracuse team. Listen, we know that this is not a team that is going to be the 4-1 team that's going to go and run the table here in the Big East. They're going to have some bumps and bruises, and Ryan Nassib, I think, has the kind of maturity and the temperament to get them there.
Roman, how about the fact that Syracuse had been looking forward to this game after their win over South Florida? There had been a buzz around the community and the campus, and you come out, it's 28-7 after the first half. Some of that buzz has been knocked out of you. How does this team go into that locker room and now come out still fighting hard?
I think it really goes to character and leadership, and the leadership of the quarterback position, DeLon Carter leadership. Defensively, they're still a good defense. They did get after the quarterback in the first half, so and it's up to Doug Marrone, it's up to that coaching staff to really get those guys together, say, hey, we stop them defensively, and we get three. This is a 3-possession game still. Defense has to do their job. Offense definitely has to be more aggressive going downfield for them to come back.
Yeah, I think the key is Doug Marrone and how he's handled this club so far this year, and even in the transition coming out with Greg Robinson, of getting them a sense of confidence in themselves as football players. They've taken a big hit around the city of Syracuse that they're not such great players. I think Doug has them believing in the locker room that they're good enough to play with any team in the Big East. I don't see them dropping off in this game. I think the difficult part is that Pitt is starting to play like the team we expected at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and the good thing about that, Don, I think they have the right people. Doug Marrone said the right things across the board. You do have the right people in the right seats on the bus.
There's no question about it. It'll be a gut check for them, but that's all part of building this program back up to where it was when this gentleman played there, as a matter of fact. No keg of nails for you, though, right?
Yeah, but we were all on the bus.
You were all on the bus. We're about to get on the bus to go downstairs, watch the second half. 28-7 Pitt. Can Syracuse get back into it? We're going back to the game, and we'll see you for the postgame after this. Syracuse and Pitt, the second half, coming up after this.
Welcome back to the Big East Network Game of the Week, presented by PNC. In Syracuse, New York, as we move back inside the Carrier Dome, Pittsburgh on top 28-7, and we head downstairs to check in with Eamon McEnany.
All right, Coach, you told us this week that your message was to win a physical game, you have to pick yourself up after you get knocked down. How does your team pick itself up?
Well, you know, we got to go there and convert on third downs. We got to stop them. We're giving up some big plays. So we got to stop the big play and, you know, work our way back into this game. We've had manageable situations on offense, but we haven't been able to convert on third down.
You mentioned third down. They were able to shut you down 5 3-and-outs and a turnover. How do you get it going offensively?
Well, we have some things out there. You know, we were short on one, short on a route. You know, we have a drop or a good play by them. You know, we have some plays that are there. We just got to make sure we make the play.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Eamon. And John Congemi sitting in his meetings are a lot of fun because that's one coach that's really buttoned up. He crosses his T's, dots his I's, and I don't know if he sleeps.
This team is well coached, and the Orange do a great job of getting their players prepared and sending the right message to their players. And I think Doug Marrone does an excellent job of getting his staff on par, getting the message across. And what they need to do right now is have their defense and special teams come out and set the tone of the second half. They have to come out and try to go 3 plays and out defensively. If not, try to create a turnover here on this special teams opportunity and get back into the game, score some points offensively.
Ross Krautman with the kick, and the second half is underway. This one's heading towards Cam Sadler again at the 2-yard line. He is hit, and he's drilled at the 28. Llewellyn Coker coming up and nailing him. A return of 19 for Sadler. And you take a look at Pittsburgh now, why they are winning.
They do a great job in the first half of total yards. They're plus 118. First downs, touchdown passes. Tino Sinceri had 3 in the first half, and big plays. I think that was the key for the Panthers that's been missing in their offense. The ability to go downfield, and they did that on the very first play of the game.
John Baldwin coming off 9 catches, 111 yards, a touchdown against Notre Dame. 0 catches so far. That's him at the top of your screen. Sinceri looking for him, fires, and Baldwin can't come up with it. Return, and the ball was there. Merkerson's thinking, I could have had a pick.
That's what the Orange would like to say and like to do in the early parts of this third quarter, is create a turnover, maybe create 6 points defensively to get back into this football game. And the ball was just high and a little bit behind John Baldwin on the outside. First down is a down that Syracuse wanted to win defensively. And so far to start the third quarter, they've done a nice job.
6'5", 230, 42-inch vertical. Athleticism with a capital A. They're going to keep it on the ground. Ooh! Wow, number 11, the true freshman, Sproul. Boy, he was in there in a hurry. A loss of 1 on the play.
That's just instinct, and that's a good job defensively, Marquise Sproul. He just reads this run all the way and throws his helmet right at the midsection of Dion Lewis. And now the Panthers come out with 2 negative plays on first and second down, and the Orange in this crowd trying to get back into this football game.
Syracuse 2 for 7. Pittsburgh 4 for 6 on third down conversions. Big difference. Syracuse came in number 2 in the Big East, behind West Virginia in that category. Here comes a blitz. Sinceri steps up, makes sure he doesn't make a mistake in punting situation, but heavy rush that time as Grell Smith, your halftime guest, was in there very quickly.
Good play that time by the 5th-year senior Jarrell Smith. Comes in and makes the tackle and cleans up on quarterback Tino Sinceri. But that drive, that would-be drive for the Panthers, all comes back to first down where they don't hit a wide-open John Baldwin, and then a good tackle on third down by Smith.
Hutchins standing inside his 10-yard line. Mike Holmes at the 35, so Syracuse should have good field position. And a fair catch at about the 33. The penalty flag back at the 10-yard line. 45-yard punt. But we're going to have a running into the punter call by Patrick Garvey after he confers with his colleagues. So down 28-7, you force Pittsburgh into a 3-and-out, and this is a costly penalty right here, John.
It will be costly because the Orange have the momentum going in their direction.
Running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Okay, just the 5-yard penalty running into the kicker. So, but again, we're talking field position here. So either way, tough break for Syracuse.
Wow, I don't know about that one.
Dorian Graham.
He said, please, I didn't even touch him. I think I put a finger on him. That's a good acting job.
It was almost like he was asking him, what are you doing after the game tonight?
Yeah, that I'd have to disagree with that one.
Another penalty flag dropped right before Hutchins kicks it. It's a good one. Now Holmes back at the 25, and we'll get to the 27. Coming up in coverage. Buddy Jackson making the stop, a 47-yard punt, 2-yard return, but again, the penalty flag was dropped right before the kick.
Legal formation, offense, 5-yard penalty will be at the end of the run, first down.
So Dave Wanstead, they're not sure of the call, but either way, Syracuse.
I think head coach Doug Marrone for the Orange want to tack it on, not to the end of the run, but have the Panthers run down for a 3rd consecutive time and kick this football.
Always thinking.
That's a good call and a good choice by head coach Doug Marrone, because, you know, anytime you're on special teams, you've gone down 40, 50, 60 yards as fast as you can. Now you're going to do it for not once, not twice, but the 3rd time. You might be able to create a big play back there from Mike Holmes.
Holmes is thinking, yeah, maybe this time I'll break one, or the other side of that coin. I gotta go. Gotta get hit once again. Hutchins back close to the initial kick, and this is a boomer. This is high and deep, and Holmes at the 25. This time he found a lane over the 35, dropped it to 37. Henry Hynoski, the fullback, making the stop. 57-yard punt, 14-yard return. And don't forget, of course, football season's underway. The Big East Network brings you all the action next Saturday, October 23rd. The Scarlet Knights of Rutgers trekking to Heinz Field to take on these Pitt Panthers. It all gets underway next Saturday, October 23rd, noon Eastern, only on the Big East Network. Well, you're right, John. Holmes did have another opportunity, and he almost broke one. So now the ball over the 35. Nassib goes to work, and he completes it right over the middle. Into Panther territory. That's Van Chu with his first catch. Gain of 13 on the play.
That's a good throw by Ryan Nassib. Put it right on Chu's numbers in front of Antoine Reed, who had pretty good coverage. That's just a better route and a better throw. Watch inside. Van Chu gets inside the coverage, and then the ball's right on the money. Good timing in the pass offense by Ryan Nassib.
Van Chu now 2 catches for 24. He had 4 for 59 last week in Tampa. Good ball fake. Nassib going deep, and he overshoots Van Chu. Ricky Gary in coverage. But Chu had his man beat, but couldn't catch up to the football.
Boy, that's a good play call that time by Doug Marrone. Right on the fringe, ball on the 50-yard line. He takes a shot. He had Alec Lemon going on the reverse, faking it to him, and the matchup he wanted on the outside, Van Chu running by himself, had about a yard or 2 on the DB that time, but just an overthrow.
Yeah, you see the year he had, only 4 catches as a freshman, 6 as a sophomore. Now with 25 catches already this year, Nassib swings it out. This is Lemon this time. Another sophomore, losing some physical play on Ricky Gary. Picks up 2 or 3 more yards, 12 overall on the play.
Well, this is what Syracuse needed. They needed to get the crowd back into the football game. So their defense comes out, goes 3 plays and out. They get good field position with the punt return. And now the offense starting to click. Yeah, they miss a home run ball, but they have great field position, and they have a little bit of momentum. And this quarterback starting to warm up. 10 of 18 for 106 and only 1 interception.
Nassib. He's looking to the far side, looking to his right. Looks like he could feel that pressure. He got happy feet there, John, and he turned and just fired it.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. That time he had plenty of time. He wanted to go to the wide side of the field and throw outside, but the Panthers did a good job of covering underneath. So now on 2nd and 10, Nassib will have another opportunity.
Nassib. Quick drop, fires, looking for his tight end. Penalty flag dropped right at about the 25-yard line.
It looked like Tristan Roberts in coverage may have pushed that big tight end, Jose Cruz, out of bounds using his hands on the outside.
Pass interference, defense number 32. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
So Syracuse marches even closer to that goal line. That would have been a tough catch either way. I mean, as Nassib tried to really thread the needle in between the 2 defenders.
Yeah, it was one of those penalties you really don't want to take on defense because you had it well covered.
Carter dots the I this time. That's Lemon in motion. Carter gets the call. Ball on the carpet. Nassib, does he get it back?
Looks like he did get it back, Mike.
They've lost 5 fumbles, but that's their 12th fumble this year. Looked like Carter just never got control at the exchange with the quarterback.
Yeah, the ball never got to the back, and Nassib does a nice job of trying to get on this football, and Karajin was wrestling with the quarterback at the bottom of this pile. But the quarterback was able to get it back.
Looked like the handoff hit him at the bottom of the shoulder pads instead of the breadbasket. So now it's 2nd and 11. Penalty flag dropped.
Jose Cruz may have jumped a little bit.
Offense number 85, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So this is something that Doug Marrone's team here in his 2nd year has not done, as they shot themselves in the foot so many times last year. Good drives, good game plans. Turnovers, killing 27 turnovers last year, but as you mentioned, Nassib just with 1 pick today, just 3 for the season.
Well, they had the Panthers going backwards there for a little while. Now Syracuse trying to get out of their own way.
Nassib fires, and did he trap it on the ground? That's Provo with the catch. They're going to say no. Looked like good execution as far as the route. The ball just a little bit low, John.
Yeah, if the quarterback would have had another half of a second, he would have been able to locate this football a little bit higher. But I think Ryan felt the pressure coming from his right and kind of short-armed it and tried to throw it in there with some velocity. And the ball does get through the tight end, Nick Provo. You can see on that replay, the ball moves once it gets to the ground. So now a 3rd and long situation for the Orange.
3rd and 16. Krautman's longest kick this year, field goal-wise, is 47. Here comes the rush, and there's the pick. Ricky Gary. Nassib, the only guy that can stop him, he won't. And the young man from Florida who claims he once caught 50 rabbits as he chased him out of these sugarcane fields has a pick 6 for Pittsburgh.
Ricky Gary only had to catch one football on that play, and I'm not sure where Ryan Nassib was going with the football, but it went right to number 26 in white. Good pressure by the Panthers trying to lead his tight end to the sideline, but Ricky Gary had other ideas. He undercuts the route and then outraces Ryan Nassib for the touchdown in the interception return.
And John, it goes 80 yards, and the Panthers are back on the board.
And Mike, there you go again with those penalties and self-inflicted wounds sometimes stopping the momentum of an offense, and the Orange had everything going in their favor to start this 3rd quarter, but a big mistake and a huge opportune interception by Ricky Gary going 80 yards for the Panthers.
And defensive touchdowns, nothing uncommon since Dave Wanstead has taken over. And Greg Williams alone, the linebacker, has 3 in his career, and now Ricky Gary has his first.
Ricky Gary does an excellent job of reading the eyes, but it was the pressure in the pocket on Ryan Nassib that allows Ricky Gary to go 80 yards, and the lead for the Panthers is 35-7.
At Polaris, we designed a trail-dominating legend, the Sportsman XP, to lead a new team of smooth-riding trail runners. We made a versatile, powerful, mid-size Ranger, launching a new group of value-minded workhorses. And we made the ultimate hunting vehicle, the Ranger XP, even better, heading up a new team of hard-working hunting machines. From a #1 maker of ATVs and side-by-sides, Polaris, hardest working, smoothest riding.
I can't always get to the bank, but I can still bank.
I have the Bank of America mobile banking app.
I can take care of things on my break. I can check my balance
while I'm on a bus.
I'm waiting at the barbershop.
The studio.
Oh, my paycheck's already in.
I just transfer money.
I went online and set up alerts to let me know if
my balance drops below $200.
You can pay your bills online.
You enter the amount, then make payment.
Boom. Done.
Wish I was.
Bank whenever, wherever, however you want. With mobile and online banking from Bank of America.
And this is Dr. Pepper Cherry. It's got a little kiss of cherry flavor.
You want cherry? How about a little kiss? They call me Dr. Love. I've got the cure you're thinking of. Dr. Love.
You can't beat a little kiss of cherry. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Honda EU Series generators are perfect for hardcore tailgaters. They provide reliable power for all sorts of things, and they're incredibly quiet.
I got this one.
Which neighbors really appreciate. Honda generators.
Bring it.
35-7, Pittsburgh on top as Ricky Gary goes 80 yards for the touchdown. We mentioned Greg Williams has 3 defensive touchdowns since playing for Dave Wanstead. He had a 51-yard pick 6 against Syracuse last year. Now Ricky Gary gets his first.
Ricky Gary did an excellent job of just staying at home. Pittsburgh was playing that umbrella coverage. Phil Bennett likes to play in that plus territory where the deep corners have the flats and then the safeties are over the top. And Ryan Nassib just threw right into coverage trying to get to his tight end on a crossing route. And Ricky Gary, the beneficiary of that interception, going 80 yards to push this lead to 35-7 Pittsburgh.
37-10, that was the score last year in Heinz Field. Harper with another kick. This is a low one, hitting inside the 20-yard line. Gully returns it, weaves his way through over the 20, dropped at about the 22. Let's take a look now at Ricky Gary's play again, brought to you by Wendy's in real time.
Well, Dom DeSico really does a good job in setting up this play. The defensive back for Pittsburgh, he's going to be just at the edge of your screen. He's going to have deep coverage. Ryan Nassib's going to want to hit the crossing route to his tight end, number 85, Jose Cruz, but Ricky Gary is going to stay at home on the outside. The deep threat never threatened Ricky Gary because he had help on top from Dom DeSico, who had the deep coverage there. So Gary was able to gamble, peek into the backfield, and cheat on that tight end and go 80 yards for the interception return for a touchdown.
Nassib comes right back to work, fires. This one's going to be incomplete, looking for Van Chu. That replay, John, that you just showed on the INT, Nassib right at the tail end of that play. He had a Pitt Panther right under his chin, too.
Yeah, pressure really did help force the throw. I don't think Ryan wanted to throw the football when he did, and the pressure in the pocket allowed the Panthers to really gamble on the secondary.
You know, throwing it where he did on that route with that kind of pressure, is that something a more experienced quarterback doesn't do?
Well, it's something you're trying to make plays. You've got a little bit of momentum going, Mike, and you're trying to get to the outside. And one of those big playmakers in this offense is the tight end for possession. But it was one of those situations where he just threw one too many times into coverage.
Carter picked up 5 on the play. 3rd and 5 now for Syracuse. So down 35-7. The Orange came into the game here this afternoon, giving up shy just under 17 points a game. Nassib sidesteps and he's going down. And it's the first sack as Brandon Lindsay gets his 5th sack of the season. That's pretty impressive considering he's filling in for Greg Romius. Now they say obviously there's a drop-off in talent there, but 5 sacks, can't ask for any more than that, John.
Well, Greg Romius normally occupies this position on the outside, and he comes around on the edge, but 35 from the bottom of your screen, he's going to fall back in to the sack on Ryan Nassib, but it was caused by the other 3 players getting pressure in the pocket up the middle, forcing Nassib to get outside, and falling into the sack is Brandon Lindsay.
Sack number 14 for the Pitt Panthers, who finished last year with 47. Long on to punt. Another high one. Sadler at the 33. And Sadler dropped at the 25. So good coverage that time. Dorian Graham getting down there to make the stop. A 45-yard punt. A loss of 7 on the return, but Pitt in control. Big Time College Football returns for the 19th year of the Las Vegas Bowl on Wednesday, December 22nd. Top teams from the Mountain West Conference and the Pac-10 will square off at Sam Boyd Stadium in this annual football tradition that has sold out 5 consecutive years. Get your tickets now. Visit MakoBowlLV.com or call 702-732-3912. Make it your game. It's the Mako Bowl Las Vegas.
Here's the truth. Safe drivers cost everybody less. That's why they pay less. But at Allstate, they pay a whole lot less. In fact, safe drivers can save 45% or more on their car insurance. Protect your home with Allstate, too, and you can save an extra 10%. Think Allstate's expensive? Think again. Now that you know the truth, let the good hands give you a great price. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
What do you ladies got there?
Wendy's apple pecan chicken salad and a baked potato.
A BLT cob and a chili.
For one price, you can pick 2 things.
What do you got?
This.
Oh, only one thing?
I have something else.
of 7 tasty options for just $4.99.
You know when it's real.
Day of your life.
I'll be right back.
We call Tuesday. Caesars Atlantic City, routinely spectacular.
As we take a look at the Carmelo Center. Carmelo Anthony, of course, the former great, now plays in the NBA. 35-7 Pittsburgh on top, and Pitt basketball fans don't miss the action as the Panthers, Seton Hall, Notre Dame, Rutgers compete with Arkansas, Kentucky, Auburn, and Tennessee in the DirecTV SEC Big East Basketball Invitational. December 8th in Louisville, Kentucky. December 11th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For tickets, more information, visit www.secbigeastinvitational.com. Today's First and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. First and 10 for the Panthers. And the ball resting just over the 25-yard line. Dave Wanstead thinking that maybe some of the other players didn't understand what it takes, the work ethic it takes to have this type of football team, but it looks like they got the message this week, John, hitting on most cylinders. Sinceri rolls, moves that pocket. Here comes Smith. And Sinceri's going to pay the price, and his intended receiver there was Devin Street.
That's a situation where you'll learn just to throw that football away. He tried to keep the play alive as long as he could, trying to get the football out to Devin Street, who had that big play on the first offensive play for the Panthers of this game, going 79 yards. But Tino, sometimes the longer you hold on to that football, more things happen, and most of them are bad. So it happened early in the season when he was at Utah in overtime, holding it, and trying to fit it in there. But sometimes you just throw it away and come back on second down.
This is Graham with the pitch over the 30 up to the 32. And a host of tacklers. 32 Doug Hogue, the other linebacker, making the initial contact. A gain of 7 now for Graham. Hogan Smith, 2 former running backs. You know, the previous play you're talking about holding on to the football, you could almost tell Darrell Smith was thinking, all right, hold it.
Yeah.
I'm almost there. Give me one
more count, and Smith's able to get underneath that football. So it's one of those situations where you're trying to get a cheap one. Ray Graham on the afternoon, 8 runs for 38 yards. So he's been trying to pick up the slack, but it's been a nice combination of Lewis and Graham in the backfield for the Panthers.
And Graham, the 277 he had against FIU, that's still number 1 in the country. There's that first play. They scored the 79-yard play. That time Shanahan missed the block. Damon Murkison smelled that one out. Loss of 3 on the play.
All the credit in the world goes to Damon Murkison fighting his way around the block of Mike Shanahan and putting a stop to that outside screen play. The Panthers try to go back to the well. It worked so nicely for them on the first play of the game.
It's amazing what one block can do, huh?
It is.
Hutchins now the number 1 punter in the Big East, standing at the 15. Mike Holmes, the number 1 return man, back at the 25-yard line. Holmes came in averaging 18.7 yards a return. That's pretty hefty for a punter.
And he's dangerous back there, Mike.
Another good punt. He's going to take this one at the 20. A stutter step. Still at the 20. Looking for some blocks. Holmes. Dropped at the 40. 50-yard punt, 21-yard return. Henry Hynoski again, and special teams making the stop. 35-7. It's Pittsburgh on top. Syracuse has the ball.
As you rebuild your financial future, there may be times you could use a hand. But with 130 years of experience, the principal has the retirement, investment, and insurance solutions to help lighten your load. We even created a website full of ideas to help you and your financial advisor plan a better way forward. Visit AmericaRebuilds.com or ask your advisor about rebuilding with the principal.
It's time for the Bud Light Playbook. Today, how to make the ultimate tailgate car.
Hey, man, come on. You run out of gas?
Actually, there is no gas tank.
Behold, the ultimate tailgate car.
I replaced the gas tank with a keg of Bud Light.
Here we go. The heater doubles as a popcorn popper.
Since we don't have gas, we don't need an engine.
Your grill is a grill.
There's no junk in that trunk. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
What you using there, Kevin?
Lipless crankbait, Jamie.
I hope it's a ½ ounce or less.
Quarter ounce.
Seems you'd be best off with a red-eye shad.
Jamie, I know you're looking at the new BassPro.com.
Is that on the World Wide Web?
The new BassPro.com has more ways to search, more information, more gear. And for a limited time, $5 flat rate shipping on qualifying orders. Plus, get great deals on great gear in our stores. And check out the free PBR family event this weekend. Your adventure starts here.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that. I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
The following Big East Network game is brought to you in stunning high definition. Number 3, DeLon Carter. Right now, his team trailing 35-7. You know, John, offensively for Syracuse, last year they were averaging 237 through the air, 206 coming in, but the difference was they had 9 picks. Only 2 picks this year, but now NASA with a couple of picks.
Yeah, since the second drive of the game for the Orange in that scoring drive, 5 3-and-outs and 2 interceptions by this offense. So just when you thought they were putting it together in the third quarter, mistakes again creep up.
Nassib stepping up in the pocket nicely, finds his receiver. That's Antoine Bailey with another catch. Greg Williams on the coverage, 9 on the play. So 3.8 for Syracuse average per play. Pittsburgh now at 7.
They've done a nice job of trying to move the football when they get it around midfield, but they've been their own worst enemy. And right now, Ryan Nassib going to more of a high-tempo, fast-paced offense and trying to throw the football with effectiveness.
Nassib has 2 receivers to the top. This one, Lemon, it's complete inside the 40, 35, down to the 33. Max Gruder brings him down, a gain of 18. So last week it was Van Chu, and now it looks like Lemon might be his favorite receiver.
Lemon looking good coming over the middle. It's a good inside route. Just going to break it off 5 yards, come downhill, and give his quarterback a window to throw the football.
4 catches for 66, and this one's Lemon again, and this one's loose. And it's going to be Pittsburgh football. Jason Hendricks, a redshirt freshman from Brooklyn, New York, forces the 3rd turnover now on Syracuse.
Jason Hendricks in that situation again for the Panthers as the Orange, they're moving the football again. That's a good job by DeSico. And then the big hit by Jason Hendricks, who's able to get on the football. But DeSico, he's the guy around Lemon's legs who stands up the receiver. And a big shot by Jason Hendricks that turns back the Orange once again.
Philip Bennett's defense came in with 7 forced turnovers. Now they're up to 10 on the year. Sinceri ready to go back to work now for the Panthers. And this is Dion Lewis gets the call. And not too much running in there as he tries to move the pile. Gain of 3 on the play. You know, you look at Dion Lewis and that great year he had last year, John. 1,799 yards. I know we all have short memories, but you forget. LaShawn McCoy, after 2 years, had 2,816 yards, 35 touchdowns. Lewis came in with 19. He has 20 now, but 35 touchdowns after 2 years. McCoy.
Yeah, and you can see where he's carried that on to the Philadelphia Eagles and how effective he's been in that offense.
Lewis almost broke one there, shy of the 30. Philip Thomas makes the stop, and let's check in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, as you mentioned, how quickly we forget. Dave Wannstedt was telling us this week that at one of his weekly press conferences, he was actually asked, how come you keep giving the ball to Dion Lewis? And he's like, you mean the guy who was the Heisman candidate 6 weeks ago? Yeah. But that's, you know, Ray Graham comes in, and he struggles a little bit. People forget.
Well, Eamon, it's the world of sports. What have you done for me lately, huh?
Yeah, it's a shame, too, because Dion Lewis running behind a young, inexperienced offensive line, and Graham's been able to do a little bit better this season, but they haven't been able to be consistent, and I think the big play in this offense is back now.
There's Shanahan with another catch, and it's going to be a first down. Darrell Smith makes the stop. Gain of 7 more for the Pitt Panthers.
And Sinceri looks like he's hobbled on that last pass play. I don't think he's going to be able to continue.
Pat Bostic, the redshirt junior, backs him up. Bostic used to start for this team. Sinceri's going to stay in the ball game.
It was just a quick 3-step pass play, and I'm not sure if somebody landed on his ankle or he landed on it when he was up in the air.
Shanahan now with 4 catches, 74 yards and a touchdown. Screets, far side, and he's run out of bounds by Phillip Thomas. Penalty flag dropped way back at the 35-yard line, around the line of scrimmage. Right about where he caught the football. He picked up 8 on the play.
May get a holding on the outside again on that quick pass to the perimeter.
Holding, offense number 27, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Henry Hynoski, the redshirt junior fullback, who's been in on so many special team plays.
Yeah, there's the contact on the outside, and the would-be hold the tackle on the outside by the fullback. He was just trying to create a stalemate, but can only do that for so long. You have to disengage and get rid of the corner, or else you're going to get called for a hold.
Well, he definitely had him. First and 20. Lewis. Boy, he just bounces off of tacklers, huh? And Doug Holt finally brings him down. Deion Lewis picks up 7 more. So the Pitt Panthers opened up this game on their first play from scrimmage. Went 79 yards.
Yeah, the first time the Panthers ran it, they ran it to perfection. No holding on the outside. Everybody got a hat on a hat, and Devin Street was able to split the secondary, going 79 yards on the Panthers' first offensive football play of the game, and that was one of many big plays to follow.
I didn't think he was going to make it. Are you surprised they didn't have any help from the opposite side as far as angles?
Yeah, I was surprised he got into the end zone as well.
There's Lewis. He was in the end zone 17 times last year. You know, against that Cincinnati game where they lost 45-44, Lewis with 194 yards. And then they go to the bowl game down in Charlotte to play North Carolina. He had 154 yards. And this guy was just a machine last year. And it looks like today he's starting to find that groove again.
Well, it's all about rhythm, and it's all about repetition. And the way that the Panthers have split the carries, they came into the ball game with Lewis with 60 and Ray Graham with 60. And now it's fairly even throughout this football game with a heavier dose of Deion in the third quarter. Pittsburgh 5 of 9 on third downs this afternoon.
Sinceri wants to call the timeout. That's going to be their first here in the second half. They'll have 2 left.
Pittsburgh, 30-second timeout.
So Dave Wanstead goes 10-3 last year, loses to Cincinnati by 1 point, loses all those players, but yet, as you said, he had to embrace the fact that I don't think he agreed with the fact that he was the preseason pick in this conference.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where Wanstead did not want to embrace that because he knew he was lacking some leadership and experience on the offensive line, and then you throw in the loss of Greg Romeus on the defensive side, you throw in the loss of Dan Mason at linebacker and the youthfulness of his quarterback, and going on the road to Utah was not a present either.
All right, John, let's take a look now at our AT&T All-American Player of the Week, Bilal Powell of Louisville.
Had an excellent night last night, rushing over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had an 85-yard touchdown against Cincinnati, and just a terrific effort by the Ville at home. They're going to be a team to reckon with.
Text vote to 345-345 from your mobile phone to vote and for a chance at a trip to the national championship. He's going down, and he came out of nowhere. That's number 35, Mike Holmes, with a corner blitz. And Sinceri's thinking, where did he come from?
Well, he came from the wide side of the field, and Tino was looking left the whole time. Mike Holmes, who has a knack for coming from that secondary. 235 tackles. Mike Holmes is going to be right here And he's going to come in and blitz, and I'm sorry, he's behind the secondary. He's coming in, and nobody blocks him from the Panthers on the strong side, but you have to be able to get rid of the football.
Second sack for the Qs. That's 14 now for the year. This is Holmes. And good coverage by Pittsburgh. As the Panthers, number 21 got down there. That's Buddy Jackson. He's been on 3 or 4 special team plays. 51-yard punt, no return. And don't forget the Big East Network bringing you all the action next Saturday, October 23rd. Scarlet Knights of Rutgers are trekking to Heinz Field to take on these Pitt Panthers. All gets underway Saturday, October 23rd, noon Eastern, only on the Big East Network. So Syracuse will have a chance to get something rolling now, offensively. Well, I'll tell you, Chaz Alexi, number 98, he was determined. He had a bull rush going on, and Syracuse did a good job with the double team, but Nassib, as soon as he touched that football, he saw number 98 coming strong.
Nassib had to get out of that pocket because the pressure from the Panthers up front was relentless, and you said Chaz was getting to the pocket. He definitely did that up the middle and forced the quarterback, Ryan Nassib, to flush himself towards the sidelines.
You talk about Romeus missing. Mick Williams shared that Defensive Player of the Year award with Romeus. He's moved on, playing for the Bears in the NFL. Nassib right over the middle. This one's complete. First down. Van Chu picks up 12 on the play. Hard to believe, John. Van Chu weighed 152 pounds when he arrived on campus on scholarship. 152.
Well, he's done an awesome job of getting himself in playing condition because he's done a nice job today on that quick slant route.
Marcus Sales breaks a tackle, and Sales is down up to the 45. Sales with his first catch of the year, a touchdown. Last year picks up 15 before Hendricks brings him down.
The Orange have done this in consecutive drives in the third quarter. They've shown you some flashes that they can move the football, but they've stopped themselves with turnovers and penalties.
4 receivers for Nassib. Here's the rush. Nice job of eluding that rush, and he's going to pick up another first down for the Qs as he slides just shy of the 40-yard line, picks up 12 more.
I'm talking with head coach Doug Marrone. We were talking about the toughness of his quarterback and how he likes to take on defenders head on, and he doesn't like to slide. You can tell that he doesn't like to slide because just at the last moment of this run, he says, well, I better listen to the head coach. I think that creeped into his mindset, and he gave the quick slide and popped up.
Yeah, you don't want your quarterback going down because he didn't slide.
That's right.
Little pump fake, Nassib. Provo was looking inside. The ball went outside. Down inside the 25-yard line.
Good coverage on the play by Dom DeSico. He had inside coverage on the tight end. The ball was a couple yards to the outside, but good positioning by the strong safety, Dom DeSico.
Provo came in with 12 catches, 13 and a half. Doug Marrone looking for that Chris Gedney clone. Bumped into Chris Gedney, the great tight end here at Syracuse, in the press box at halftime. He's another one of the all-time greats here at Syracuse as they try to turn the corner and get this football program back on track. Bailey is the running back, showing blitz. Here they come. Pass complete. Sales down to the 33-yard line, picks up 9 more. Jared Hawley finally brings him down.
That'll be the last play of the third quarter, but Syracuse wearing out the Panthers with that quick slant to the field.
Well, Doug Marrone saying that Marcus Sales hasn't been consistent enough. He had 28 catches last year, 1 last week, and now number 5 has 2 catches here in this drive. Start of the fourth coming up, down 35-7 to Q.
At Polaris, we designed a trail-dominating legend, the Sportsman XP, to lead a new team of smooth-riding trail runners. We made a versatile, powerful, mid-size Ranger, launching a new group of value-minded workhorses. And we made the ultimate hunting vehicle, the Ranger XP, even better. heading up a new team of hard-working hunting machines. From a #1 maker of ATVs and side-by-sides, Polaris, hardest working, smoothest riding.
AT&T covers 97% of all Americans. Rethink possible.
We're for better living through power tools. We're for higher RPMs at lower prices. We're for lights, lasers, and recycling the old so you can fire up the new. We're lowering the cost of serious power. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get a Ryobi 12-volt lithium-ion drill for the new lower price of just $69.
Welcome to Cheesy Burger. Hey, you're that Fios guy. Yeah. You forgot to tell my parents that Fios
doesn't have MSG varsity for local high school sports.
Well, yeah, and they don't have...
Every HD game of all 9 New York sports teams.
And that they charge you extra.
To get on-demand movies in HD?
Yeah, and that I'd also have to get this job to help pay for it.
Oh.
I just lost my appetite.
For the best services at the best value, the truth is, it's Optimum, or it's not.
Friday brings a whole new dimension to high school sports, as MSG Varsity takes you inside the action. Live, in high definition. Friday Night Football. Watch as Syosset faces Farmingdale, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Back inside the Carrier Dome, the fourth quarter ready to roll into action as we take a look at the numbers so far here in Syracuse. Pittsburgh on their very first play from scrimmage went 79 for a touchdown since Harry hit Devon Street. And 35-7, what's important right now for Syracuse, John? Win or lose the ball game, what do they have to do in the fourth quarter?
Well, if you're head coach Doug Marrone, you like to see them come out and compete in the fourth quarter and come out and try to carry over what they learned a little bit on the road against South Florida and try to bring that toughness and that physical play back and be able to put some pressure on his quarterback's shoulder to see if he can create some points in the fourth quarter when things aren't going well.
Well, here's the first play of that fourth quarter right here. And it's a third down play for Nassib. Sales again, that's his third catch, and he picks up the first down, so DeSico makes the stop, but they'll move the chains. So Marcus Sales, looking like the player they thought he might be, coming out of Christian Brothers Academy. Big part of this drive. And again, the Q's going with the no huddle. Nassib has his man. This one's complete inside the 25-yard line. Greg Williams in coverage. That was Lemon again with the catch. Picked up 4.
Williams up the tackle for the Panthers.
Nassib, this is Lemon. He almost broke it. Inside the 15-yard line. Ricky Gary might have saved a touchdown for Pittsburgh. So now Nassib, who was a modest 12 for 22, 129 and a touchdown at USF. But I like what Doug Marrone said when he ran into him. He said, hey, you did a great job managing that game. And Nassib's like, you're not mad at me?
I know. You're just waiting for Syracuse on the outside, Mike, to run that slant and go, behind one of those secondary players for Pittsburgh, because they run that slant, 3, 4, 5 times to the right side. You're waiting for that pump fake and then the slant and go.
Keep it on the ground, Bailey. Bailey gets down to the 10-yard line. Last catch by Lemon was his 7th already for 100 yards here this afternoon. True sophomore. And one thing impressive about Nassib this year, of his 10 receivers, 7 have caught touchdown passes. Nassib steps up, fires right through the hands of Jose Cruz. Holly in coverage. That would have been a nice catch for Cruz with his family here, his brother playing for the other team. Mike Cruz, the tight end for Pittsburgh.
He took a shot after this play, too. Mike knows he could have had this football. It's a well-thrown ball, and he takes that shot right in the back from Jared Hawley.
Well, I guess Hawley knew he had position. He said, if you catch it, you're not going to hold on to it. But it slipped right through his hands regardless. So Nassib facing a 3rd down. 3rd and 6. They can get the first down inside the 5. Instead, they take the touchdown. Van Chu, his 3rd this season.
Chu does a nice job of winning to the inside against Ricky Gary, but that's something they've been able to get on the Panthers all afternoons, that quick slant. You would think you'd have to play inside technique, and I know Dave Wannstedt's frustrated just because it's too easy down in the plus territory to give away that much cushion inside the 10-yard line.
Well, we mentioned Van Chu with only 4 catches 2 years ago. 6 as a sophomore, but Rob Moore, who's a member of the All-Century team at Syracuse, now on the coaching staff, pointed out to Doug Marrone, this guy really runs some good routes. 81 yards in 12 plays and 322, and Syracuse is on the board in the 4th quarter.
Just a great job by quarterback and receiver trying to get back into this football game with plenty of time left.
One of the benefits of being a Bank of America customer is that we're almost everywhere.
Thousands of banking centers.
And so many ATMs all over the place.
The new ATM machines are really cool.
No deposit slips.
No envelopes.
Deposit your checks right here and get the check images on your receipt.
We have banking apps for mobile phones.
Don't forget online banking. You can set up alerts.
Transfer funds.
View your balances.
Thousands of banking centers.
Loads of ATMs. Mobile banking. Online banking.
Text banking.
I gotta get back to work.
Bank whenever, wherever, however you want with Bank of America.
The power of a Duramax turbo diesel and rugged Allison transmission. Proven in the real world for more than 10 years and back for 100,000 miles. With more than 20,000 pounds behind you, shouldn't you put a trusted powertrain in front of you? Introducing the new Chevy Silverado HD, our most powerful heavy duty ever.
I think everybody's interested in saving money. It's just making yourself do it. Sometimes we're just complacent.
Because we're afraid of change.
The fact that Vonage does not require an annual contract, I'm definitely going to make the switch.
No contracts with Vonage sounds like how business should be done.
What more can you ask for?
For just $14.99, get unlimited domestic and international calling now without an annual contract.
Now I can talk however long I want.
My mom wants me to call her every day.
The sound is terrific. It's like they're next door.
I switched to Vonage, and I'm never looking back.
Basically what I do. How you doing? I'm all right.
Big East Football on SNY is brought to you by Sprint. Stay in the game with the $69.99 plan from Sprint and get way more than the other guys. Visit sprint.com/football for more details.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that. I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
Syracuse climbs within 35-14. And, John, let's take a look at the Napa know-how that went into that touchdown pass to Van Chu.
Well, Van Chu's going to be lined up on the outside, and he's just going to run a quick slant, but it's all set up with the pressure from Pittsburgh. They allow a huge throwing lane for Ryan Nassib to just get the football from center, take 2 steps, and then get his feet set and throw the football with authority. They've worn out Ricky Gary and Antoine Reed on this quick slant, but the pressure from Pittsburgh allowed a bigger throwing lane to the inside. and just a nice pitch and catch to the outside. Nassib, career high 20 completions today on 35 attempts, but a good job on the outside by Van Chu, taking advantage of that quick slant.
Third touchdown in 2010, 81 yards, so they've gone 98, 83, and 81 in the last 2 weeks here. Syracuse. Rob Long kicking off his time instead of Krautman, and it's a good one. Sadler all the way back to the goal line. Sadler far side gets pushed out just over the 15-yard line, and that's where Pitt will take over. A return of 17 for Sadler and the Pitt Panthers. There he is. It goes about $170 now, but he came in at 152. He ran into students on campus, John, and they asked him if he was a basketball recruit. He said, no, I play on the football team. And he actually, this is him saying that kids actually laughed at him. They said, no, you don't play on the football team.
Nobody's laughing in that Pitt secondary, I can guarantee you, because he's done a nice job of getting inside on that quick slant.
Offside. Kicking team, number 21. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
So the Panthers now with a first down. Nassib hooking up with Van Chu. That's his 11th touchdown strike. Tino Sinceri now 14 of 20 for a $194. 3 touchdowns here this afternoon, coming off of the 27 of 39, 272, and a touchdown against Notre Dame in South Bend. First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Ball on the 22-yard line. Graham gets the call, tries to spin away from Thomas. He's up over the 25 to the 26. He picks up 5.
Mike, we talked about being physical at the open of this game and the lack of big play production for the Panthers. They've been able to find the big plays, and now it's time for them to be physical, to try to wear some of this clock out and get this offensive line in this running game, this 1-2 punch combination of Dion Lewis and Ray Graham, get them running north and south and moving the chains on the ground.
I was just about to say now it's up to that Syracuse defense to get that ball back for the offense to see. Boy, a nice shifty move there by number 1, Graham, all the way up to the 35-yard line. A gain of 9 more for Ray Graham.
Nothing you can really do about that one, Mike. Syracuse in the perfect position to stop the run, and Graham was able to make something out of nothing, and 11 rushes for Dion Lewis and 10 for Ray Graham. Wow. Very similar numbers with similar averages. So these guys complementing each other perfectly.
5'5" and 5'4". Boy, it's amazing. Graham came in averaging 8.9 on the season. And he stays on the field for Dave Wanstead. And play action. This one's complete. And this one's Baldwin. And he's going to turn it into a big play. Baldwin. 20, 10, inside the 5, just shy of a touchdown. Mike Holmes finally getting down there along with number 25, Darrell Smith. John Baldwin, his first catch, John, goes for a big one.
It looked harmless to start with. Jonathan Baldwin just going 5 yards and hooking up, but he turns it into a 62-yard reception. Just a button hook over the middle right on the hash, and then Baldwin, you can see those long strides from the 6'5 junior out of Aliquippa, turns it inside and gets down to the Syracuse 3-yard line. That's just making easy work out of a nice 5-yard route and coming back around, crossing the field. His first reception on the afternoon.
Officially, that's going down as a 61-yarder, but not bad for your first catch. Is Sinceri rolls out, fires. Nice job of finding that receiver, but it's dropped in the end zone. Ray Graham almost had his second touchdown reception.
Holding offense, number 27. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Hynoski, who's had some big plays on the special teams, but he's been guilty of a few infractions here as well.
He has, and not making his head coach any happier on the sidelines is the big fullback. You can see the frustration because that would have been an easy touchdown. Sinceri rolling to his right. He does a nice job. If it's in the middle, any indecision, go ahead and tuck it a run. But as soon as that defender commits to you, if you can make just an easier pass, and you can see Dave Wanstead just frustrated on the sidelines because of the execution. And even though they're up 35-14, this is a team that has really not found their identity and put it all together for one game.
Baldwin incomplete. Holmes on the coverage. John Baldwin now holding that right ankle. Oh, what a weapon he is, huh?
He's just such a big target on the outside. You hope he didn't land awkwardly and sprain that right ankle. Good throw on the back of the end zone. Let's take a look at the end of this. It's incomplete. The ball goes right through the hands of Baldwin, but he does fall awkwardly, and he looked like he grabbed that right ankle right away. Seems to be okay jogging outside, though, now.
10 100-yard games, 2 this year, and already with 61 on 1 catch. A stutter step there by Ray Graham inside the 15-yard line. Burrell Smith makes the tackle. You talk about the top receivers, John, you know, the A.J. Greens, Julio Jones, Baldwin, Michael Floyd. Last year, this is nitpicking for whatever reason. They might have been injured or for whatever reason, but Floyd, Green, and Jones, all their production went down last year. And Baldwin went from 18 catches to 57. He was the only one of those 4 that actually went up.
Well, that was a big play of this Panther offense last year, was Bill Stahl going down the field to John Baldwin, and he found a way to make big plays in this offense.
Panthers facing the 3rd and goal. Sinceri steps aside, and Hynoski gets the call down near the 5-yard line before he's driven down. Max Suter coming over to make the stop along with Holmes. 7 yards on the play, and here comes the kicking team.
Well, the Panthers put a nice drive together after that Syracuse touchdown and get down inside the 5-yard line, but go backwards with a holding call. And now Dave Wannstedt still wanting to find his offense to get better inside the red zone.
Hutchins, this will be a 24-yard attempt. He's 9 for 13 so far this year. Perfect in extra points. 3 for 4 from this distance, make it 4 for 5 as he drills it through the uprights. And the Pitt Panthers put 3 more on the board. Inside 10 minutes now here in the Carrier Dome. Dave Wannstedt looking for his first win in the Big East in 2010, up 38-14.
Visit Overstock.com to help you find your next home. Just check out our real estate section and find not only a house, but great ways to save money on your closing fees and more. We've done the hard part. Now go have some fun. Overstock.com, your place for real estate.
We gave it a new fully boxed high-strength steel frame and hydraulic body mounts for a comfortable ride. Because the things you carry are even heavier than the things you haul. Introducing the new Chevy Silverado HD, our most powerful heavy-duty ever.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make the right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Find your next car purchase online. At Overstock.com Cars, you can shop knowing there's a new car low price guarantee, haggle-free pricing, and guaranteed price quotes. Save money when you need it most. Overstock.com Cars, your virtual car dealer.
A certified pre-owned BMW is a smart choice. But before the up to 6-year, 100,000-mile protection plan, before the comparisons to lesser brands' new cars, before all of this, first, it's a BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Receive an up to $1,500 payment credit on select certified pre-owned models.
Welcome back to the Big East Network Game of the Week presented by PNC. 38-14, Pittsburgh on top. And John, let's go back and take a look at our Liberty Mutual play of the game.
Well, it all goes back to the first offensive play for the Panthers. A 79-yard touchdown pass and run from Sinceri to Devin Street. He did a great job of going behind 3 or 4 blocks on the perimeter, then changing direction and outrunning Damone Murkison to the end zone. The Panthers started fast, and that was the Liberty Mutual play of the game.
One of 3 touchdown passes for that young man, Tino Sinceri. First year as a starter, backing up or filling in for Bill Stahl. So, we talked about the 2 tight ends, the linemen, all the guys missing. Well, Stahl, he put up some pretty good numbers last year. What was it? 21 touchdowns, just 8 picks.
He did a great job last year and really didn't get a lot of credit for it right away, but he led that team, and he did it by his performance on the football field.
Harper with a low kick. Gully takes it at about the 10-yard line and heads up the near sideline, still on his feet over the 30, still on his feet, 40, and finally driven out of bounds just shy of 45 by Harper, the kicker. So he returns at 30 yards. And Kevin Harper, the sophomore from Mentor, Ohio, said, hey, guys, I'll kick it, but I'm not supposed to do that.
My job is to kick and not tackle. That is true. So Gully gives the Orange instant field position around the 38-yard line.
Gully, a true freshman out of the Akron area. And Nassib back on the field, trying to get something to going again. Coming off a nice drive. Nassib going for the home run ball, looking for Van Chu. He's got it, but he might be out of bounds. It's going to be ruled incomplete. He was juggling it going out of bounds. We had a long discussion with Terry McCauley, the outstanding NFL ref, who's the supervisor of officials in the Big East. He's at this game, and if you're going to go out of bounds, you better have possession of that football. Huh?
Yeah, and possess the football all the way to the ground. It looks like the ball was moving a little bit as he goes out of bounds, and he did have it going to the ground, but you have to possess it and have control of that football.
And he did a nice job keeping his feet in, but Terry McCauley saying sometimes we get too caught up in watching where his toes or his feet are, and he's juggling the football. Some of the faithful still in the stadium here didn't like the call. And there's a fumble, and it's picked up. Williams looking for his 4th career defensive touchdown. He comes up 5 yards shy. We said he had a 51-yard pick last year. We saw the 80-yard pick by Ricky Gary. This one goes 34, but it doesn't go for the touchdown. That would have been the 13th defensive touchdown under Dave Wanstead.
It was confusion with center and quarterback. Ryan Bartholomew was pushed into the offensive backfield, and I don't believe Ryan Nassib ever had his hands on the football. It just went towards the defense in that linebacker position, and Greg Williams right over the center. It looked like Aaron Donald was able to force Bartholomew into the offensive backfield. The ball actually goes forward right into the hands and arms of Greg Williams. So the Panthers now instant field position at the 6-yard line of the Orange.
Williams saw that ball laying there. Oh my gosh, what a gift. So Pittsburgh's going to call a timeout now with 9:25.
First charge timeout.
Dave Wanstead up 38-14. Something's not working.
30-second timeout.
Someone's not in sync. He wants to get this team polished up before they move deeper into the Big East season.
Well, right now, Dave Wanstead is coaching for next week and in week 6 and week 7 and week 8 because he's been on this offensive team the entire second half, and he's demanding this team get better because they have not put it together all season. And I think this is a little bit of frustration and a lot more of coaching going forward. Here's another look at that last play. It looked like Aaron Donald got a jump start on that snap count and pushes Ryan Bartholomew into the offensive backfield. I don't think that ball moved before Donald was able to shove the center back into the quarterback. He might have gotten away with a little bit of an early start there.
Did he hit him before he snapped the ball?
You know, yeah, just before it looked like it.
Sinceri looks, fires, touchdown. Brock DeSico gets his first. He was just on the receiving end of a tongue lashing by his head coach, Dave Wanstead. But he comes up with his first touchdown. Redshirt freshman.
Mike, I didn't see this one coming. I didn't know how the game would turn out, but the Panthers have turned some big plays and some opportunities into points. Tino Sinceri throwing his 4th touchdown pass of the afternoon to his young tight end, DeSico, coming from left to right, and the Panthers are looking to push this lead to 45-14.
And Hutchins, who's still perfect in the PAT department, does just that. 45-14 Pittsburgh. 4 touchdowns down to 4 different receivers for Tino Sinceri.
Just a nice job by Sinceri. The back receiver, the tight end's going to go across the middle, and it's all the play action that sets this up. Doing a good job of getting depth, squaring his shoulders, then throwing the nice touch pass over Philip Thomas, who was playing center field for the Orange. But it was all the play action set up the tight end getting from left to right in the middle of that end zone.
Brock DeSico, brother of Dom DeSico. It's his first touchdown as a Panther. Good size, 6'5", 240. You know, John, his brother, Dom, plays safety and linebacker. I didn't realize he went 230 pounds, 6'4". Was he that big last year when we saw him play in Pittsburgh?
Well, you know what? He was. He's been that big, but he's been fluctuating because he's been going from linebacker to safety to strong safety. So he's played multiple positions for the Panthers so far in his career, but he's a guy that's a big guy that can run, is very athletic, and does a great job on special teams for the Panthers.
And Dom DeSico, number 31 at the bottom of your screen there on the kickoff coverage team, too. Harper with a good kick this time. Gully at the 1. Gully still on his feet over the 30, dropped at the 32-yard line. Making the stop is Carl Fleming. Return of 30. And don't forget, coming up on the Big East Network, next Saturday, October 23rd, Rutgers and the Scarlet Knights move into Heinz Field to take on these Pitt Panthers. It all gets underway Saturday, October 23rd. That's next Saturday at noon Eastern only on the Big East Network. Dave Wanstead and the Panthers favored, the preseason pick to win the Big East this year, despite all those losses. And right now, they're cruising to their first win in the Big East play.
Well, Dave, right now, I think Ryan Nassib has to change that snap count, because that's 2 plays in a row. These Panthers, the front 4, has been able to tee off and guess on that snap count and create confusion between quarterback and center.
See Clemmings in the field now. TJ Clemmings, a true freshman out of New Jersey. Patterson Catholic. Nassib going deep for the home run ball, and this one, he overshoots his man again. It's Van Chu, and there's going to be a penalty flag dropped after the ball shot over their head. Now Ricky Gary says, hey.
Pass interference, defense number 26, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Trying to stay stride for stride with Van Chu. Now remember, if he turns his head and goes for the ball, but apparently he didn't turn his head, huh?
Well, a lot of arm contact.
Oh, yeah.
The last hold, the contact, the infighting's okay, but when he grabbed on to Van Chu's right elbow and held the elbow, that drew the flag.
Talk about some of the athletes on this Pitt team. We saw Clemmings, the true freshman out of New Jersey. You got Jonathan Baldwin, Shanahan, Greg Romeus, TJ Clemmings, all had Division I scholarship offers in basketball. All of them in basketball. And instead they've opted to play football here for Dave Wanstead.
There's the snap count change. That's a good job by Ryan Nassib.
That reminds me of the story that you told.
Offside. Defense number 59, contact, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's another true freshman there, Aaron Donald out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just trying to guess that snap count and coming through untouched. You have to do that as a quarterback. No matter where you are in the game, you have to be able to give your lineman a chance.
Nine penalties now, 84 yards for Pittsburgh. Nassib trying to set up that screen. He does, but it's sniffed out. Nice job there by number 32 coming up to make the stop. Tristan Roberts, the linebacker. Loss of 3 on the play.
Second down, 8:46.
They played a good ball game here today. Against the run, they've only given up 95 yards a game, so they're fine there. 244 against the pass. But things are starting to fall into place maybe for Phil Bennett As we take a look at our Polaris hardest working player of the game.
Antoine Reed did a nice job. 7 solo tackles today. He did a good job of really preventing the big play. Yes, they gave up a few slants here and there on the edge, but Antoine Reed did a nice job of rallying this defense today.
4 for 11 on 3rd down. Reed came in with a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a block kick. For the junior out of Pennsylvania. Nassib will shovel pass, and this is Marcus Sales. Picks up 5. Max Gruder drags him down. So it was an orange out here on homecoming day, and this place was nearly filled, and it's nearly emptied out now.
Yeah, it's a situation where the Orange had a lot of momentum coming in after that big road win against South Florida in Tampa last week. But the Panthers just had too many big plays today.
And this one, nice job of pulling this one in. It's complete to Lemon. Buddy Jackson on the play. You see number 50 there, Tyrone Ezell, another redshirt freshman. They pick up 8 on the play.
Well, just as Dave Wanstadt was coaching his team and getting on his team to perform late in this game, I think that head coach Doug Marrone is trying to do a better job of getting his team to compete, even though they're out of this football game right now, trying to score some points in the 4th quarter.
Nassib very patient that time as he dropped deeper and deeper in the pocket. Penalty flag dropped, however. The ball was complete to Bailey. Maybe it took so long to get the pass off with his patience. Maybe we're going to have a holding call.
You made me right here, Mike.
Personal foul.
Nope.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 90.
Goes against Pittsburgh.
Contact to the hands to the face. 50-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's T.J. Clemmings, the freshman from New Jersey that we just mentioned. So down 45-14, and Doug Marrone's team, if they can get in the end zone again, still 7 minutes to go.
And right at the end of this play, it looked very harmless, but the hand goes to the helmet of the quarterback. You just can't do that. Watch the right hand right there, goes right to the face mask and the top of the helmet.
Nassib fires, and this one's knocked down by DeSico. Good job by Don DeSico getting that right hand in there. So you just mentioned good size, but he can run. Obviously proved it there.
Yeah, good size, and he's very athletic on the inside, can play multiple positions, and that's why you can set him up on a wide receiver to the outside and not lose a whole lot of quickness.
DeSico 6'4", 230, plus he's been battling a hamstring. But he was stride for stride with Lemon that time. Here's Nassib. Saw a breakdown on the left side, took it, found the lane inside the 10-yard line. Had to get to the 9.5 for the first down. Pretty close.
Should be good enough for a first down, and that's a situation where you don't want him to slide. You want him to go and get the first down and keep this momentum going and trying to get on the board again for the Orange.
Tackle made by Tyler Tack, a fifth-year senior from Slatington, Pennsylvania, but it's 1st and goal now for the Orange. Nassib looked left, comes back right, looking, finding his man, and the Van Chu goes out at about the 5-yard line after the completed ball. Gain of 3 on the play, clock running 6:23, 6:22.
From Doug Marrone here, you spread them out and you go quick slant again. They've had great success on that quick slant, either to Van Chu or Alec Lemon. Spread Pittsburgh out and try to take advantage of your quickness on the outside.
Twin receivers split to the left, top of your screen. Little pump fake, fire. And no penalty play. Ricky Gary on coverage. He was on him like a blanket. Some of the fans here thought there might have been some pass interference on Van Chu that time.
We talked about Antoine Reed and how hard he's worked on defense for the Panthers. Ricky Gary's getting a workout on the outside as well. This time they fake the slant and try to go a little fin route inside and then back out, but Gary was waiting for Van Chu on the outside.
Nassib now 25 of 44 for 231 yards, 2 picks and a touchdown. Panthers showing a lot of pressure there, showing like they're going to send 8 or 9 guys.
Chu should be there on the slant again.
Nassib's looking for Lemon, and this time Reed coming up. And Lemon thought he might have been over the back a little bit. So now it's 4th and goal. Obviously down 45-14. They're going to go for the touchdown, John, but what do you call?
Well, I've been begging for it for 3 plays now, Mike. I think you have to go, Van Chu's had the advantage over Ricky Gary down on the bottom, especially when the Panthers are bringing pressure with Henderson. If they don't bring him, they may have to go and roll to the wide side.
Nassib looking left. Now looking right, penalty flag dropped. Nassib fires, it goes incomplete, but again, that penalty flag dropped at about the 11-yard line. We saw Michael Hay, the junior right tackle, come up and...
Holding offense number 74. The penalty will be declined. First down, Pittsburgh.
And number 74 is Michael Hay, so the penalty goes against him, and Doug Marrone now will watch Pittsburgh try to just eat clock with 5:42 to go.
Yeah, I know Doug was not looking at this and didn't see this yesterday. When we talked to him, he was very confident about his football team. They had a lot of momentum coming into today. He knew it would be a physical football game, but he didn't think his team would give up as many big plays as they did today. And offensively, they just couldn't get points on the board. They moved the ball from the 30 to the 30, but when they got in the scoring zone, they just either penalties or giving up the football, they really held themselves back. And you have to give credit to the Panthers. They came out and played hard, but it was one of those situations where they just didn't make enough plays.
Holmes busts in there for the tackle. Pat Bostic, the quarterback now, one-time starter out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Bostic redshirted last year as Sinceri kind of moved up. And he said he actually, this is the ultimate team player. He said he really had a blast last year redshirting because he really gets into the schematic part of football, the strategy and the game plans.
Well, he's been helping a young quarterback out this season as well as his coordinator, and he's prepared to play if they call his number. He's one of those guys that has that experience.
All right, John, let's take a look now at our Dr. Pepper unrivaled player of the game, the quarterback for the Panthers.
Well, the quarterback for the Panthers, Tino Sinceri's done an excellent job, whether he's had to float the football up or just put it in the right spot. He's taken advantage of the big play opportunities. He's used his athleticism to throw 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon, 17 completions on 24 attempts for 256 yards. So Tino Sinceri does a nice job, an unrivaled player of the game.
27 completions last week against Notre Dame was a career high. And Dion Lewis now. He came into the game just 14 yards shy of cracking the top 10 at Pitt. So obviously he's done that here today. Torrey Ball finally brings him down. So Lewis has a touchdown this afternoon and looks like the Dion Lewis that the entire country saw last year as a true freshman.
And not only Dion Lewis, but the Panthers taking advantage of a road victory, their first Big East game in 2010, and Dion Lewis and Ray Graham talking about it on the sidelines. Very good relationship between the two running backs, and I think they help each other, on and off the football field.
Yeah, that's a great point. E.J. Borghetti, the media relations director for Pittsburgh, I asked him how Dion was handling Graham's success. Obviously he was struggling early in the season, but he said, hey, he's happy for him. He's handled it very mature, and I said, that's great to hear, because I would hope I could handle it that way, but I'm not sure if I would. But the success he had as a freshman, and then that slow start, and everybody's, jumping off of his bandwagon early. But it looks like Dion's getting those wheels revved up and greased up and ready to go again now as they move into the Big East season.
Well, he's got a great character kid, and he's got some help this year with Ray Graham, so I think can make the Panthers very dangerous within the Big East Conference and trying to get on a roll and make people believers in what they can do going to the rest of this season.
So Bostic comes in and simply hands off. But Bostic taking a back seat to Sinceri, John. You go back, once he leaves Pittsburgh, he can always say 2 huge victories under Dave Wanstead. He was the starting quarterback in that 4 overtime victory over Notre Dame and in that 13-9 win over West Virginia that kept the Mountaineers out of the national championship game. Number 19 was the starting quarterback in both.
And it's a luxury for Coach Dave Wanstead and offensive coordinator Frank Cignetti to know that they have a guy they can plug in that has that big-time game experience and can go in if something were to happen, in this offense, or if Tino wasn't having a good day. You have a quarterback that has experience that's won big games within the Big East Conference.
Yeah, they don't get much bigger than that win over West Virginia, I'll tell you that. Bostic has 2 picks, and this one kind of hung up there. There's going to be a penalty flag. Damone Murkison on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense number 6. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
And intended receiver was Ed Tinker, one of the backup wide receivers. So Pittsburgh, we'll see them in Heinz Field next Saturday at noon as they take on Rutgers. And for Syracuse now, they head for West Virginia. And you know how buttoned up and what a great coach Doug Marrone is. But even all the excitement last week after the win over South Florida, he said, hey, we got a long way to go still. And obviously, one win doesn't make a season. One loss doesn't make a season, John Congemi. But how down will Syracuse be when they show up for film on Sunday or for...
Well, you have that 24-hour rule, win or lose. You want to be able to enjoy a win, which they did last week, you know, coming from South Florida. And now next week, they're going to have probably the toughest task of the season going on the road to Morgantown, a team that, you know, offensively and defensively have played well. Then they go on, you know, at Cincinnati again, and Louisville, a much improved Louisville team, which will have that game right here. And then they go to Rutgers, Connecticut, and end the season against Boston College. So it's a situation where no one's going to feel sorry for Syracuse coming out of this game. They felt great for them last week. It was a great story. But now they have to go pick up their, you know, game plan, pick up whatever they're doing positively from this game and apply it towards West Virginia, because that's a very buttoned-up team right now.
You talked about Louisville. Wow, Charlie Strong with that defensive resume. But offensively, they're doing some amazing things now as we take a look at Pittsburgh. To mention Rutgers and then Louisville, then at UConn, at USF, West Virginia, Cincinnati. So they don't exactly have an easy road either, do they?
No, they don't, but they got on track in the Big East Conference. They came into this game at 2-3. Now they're 1-0 in the Big East Conference. And after losing on the road at Utah and then losing against Notre Dame and not having a really good performance at home against Miami, this was a big game because they can wipe out the beginning of the season, concentrate on the Big East Championship, and that's what the Panthers have to do, and that has to be their mindset going forward from this game.
Phil Bennett had a good point. He said, you know, he wasn't playing should have, could have, but he said, you know, the only team that really hammered us was Miami. They could have beaten Utah. They didn't. They forced that overtime. And of course, Notre Dame, statistically, they had the Fighting Irish. It was almost like at dinner last night we're talking about they did just enough to lose the game.
Yeah, they found themselves playing catch-up at Notre Dame, and that's the one thing they didn't do today. They got off with that 79-yard touchdown pass right away, and it was really propelled them to victory today.
Well, Dave Wanstead gets the victory, 45-14. Sinceri with a big day as the Pitt quarterback. And Doug Marrone goes to 1-1.
45-14. Coming up on the Big East post-game show, we will break down the game. Roman and Don will do that for you. Also, we'll show you highlights from Army and Rutgers and earlier in the week. And West Virginia head coach Bill Stewart joins us as well. We're coming back after this with the Big East post-game show.
Can a smartphone be its own guardian angel? Can it keep an eye out for itself? Literally show and tell you where it is when you don't even know yourself. Droid can with Lookout Mobile Security. One of thousands of free apps for the Droid X and Droid 2 by Motorola. Available on the ever-expanding Android market. When there's no limit to what Droid gets, there's no limit to what Droid does.
The Polo Grounds came to life once more. Familiar old faces showed up in new uniforms. The uniform of the Mint, the baby of the expanded National League.
Old Timers Day. Hall of Famer Satchel Paige was a special guest. Old Satch takes them out and shows them how.
Opening day, bases loaded and nobody out, and here's Willie Mays. What a jam to be in.
And now the end of an era in New York. The last game at the Polo Grounds.
Welcome to the Big East post-game show. You just watched Pitt take it to Syracuse 45-14. Roman Oben, Don McPherson, Jonas Schwartz with you to review this game, get you caught up with what else is going on in the conference. Syracuse came in with many high hopes. They died fairly quickly in this game.
They really did, and they died very quickly because Pitt came in as the team everyone picked to win the Big East.
I think you're looking at a Pittsburgh team who felt like their record really didn't indicate the kind of team that they were. You lose the overtime game in Utah. Obviously, Notre Dame, they had them statistically. Miami is really the only game that beat them, and they really showed that they were a better team than their record by their performance today.
You know, Syracuse tried to get back into this early in the third quarter after having a tough first half, but it really all fell apart. Ryan Nassib picked by Ricky Gary, pick six, really effectively ended the game.
Yeah, and Ryan Nassib throws his ball off his back foot. He's backpedaling against the rush, and there's the pick six. You can't throw the ball like that backing up. You really have to set your feet and throw. And the other thing was he really didn't look over there because that guy was standing right there the whole time.
Yeah, and I didn't see the tight end really fighting to get across the field on that drag route. You really have to, the quarterback's doing across the field. Wasn't a good job by the receiver.
How about the two-headed monster for Pittsburgh running the ball? Deion Lewis, Ray Graham, they were all over Syracuse all day.
Yeah, Deion Lewis looked like the Deion Lewis of 2009. He ran the ball very well between the tackles, showed that speed in the secondary, and Ray Graham is just such an electrifying guy. I like him as a running back, but I love when he gets out in space. And as a receiver, I think he's one of the best running backs I've seen this year in college football.
I mean, knowing what Deion Lewis can do last year, if he gets some of that back this season, especially by the way he played today, and you look at Ray Graham, a very, very versatile running back. I mean, they could really develop a really formidable 1-2 combination in the Big East in the backfield.
What does this game tell us about where Syracuse was coming in? They took a big step forward, good conference win over South Florida, and and then ran into a buzzsaw today. And what does this tell us about Pitt, who would struggle with a very tough non-conference schedule, but looked like they were the old battering rams we always knew them to be?
Yeah, I think you start with Pitt. You talk about a team, and when I talked to David Walker, the running back coach, yesterday, he talked about they were just a play away here, a play away there from making it happen. And today they put that whole game together. I think on the other side for Syracuse, I think they have some problems on the offensive line. Ryan Nassib didn't have a lot of protection throwing the football, but I think overall I didn't like their offensive performance. I didn't like the play selection. I felt like they played very conservative, very tight, and you have to give Pitt a lot of credit on defense. They played very well.
Yeah, I think what Syracuse, what I saw offensively is, even when they were behind, methodically moving the ball downfield, like they were trying to execute 11-play drive rather. They should have gone down the field a lot quicker. And defensively, the secondary, I didn't really see them in sync a lot of hands in the air after the play, not being on the same page, the first 2 touchdowns. But you look at a Pitt team, again, played a lot better than what their record was, and that's really the confidence I think that they approach this game today.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing about Syracuse's defense. When you look at a team that like Pittsburgh that comes out and they're throwing the ball deep early, clearly they've seen something on film that Syracuse was susceptible in the secondary. All
right, there's one other Big East team in action right now, Rutgers, taking on the Black Knights of the Hudson of Army at the new Meadowlands Stadium, East Rutherford. Let us take a look at this one. You can see Rutgers, everybody out there hoping to make it 2 wins in a row. Late first quarter, no score. Teddy Delgado with the punt, blocked by Zach Watts. Sean Westfall recovers it for Army. Black Knights with good field position at the Rutgers 12-yard line. And on a 3rd and 1, quarterback Trent Steelman, it's a triple option, rushes in for a 4-yard touchdown. Army takes a 7-0 lead, and those service academies don't stop.
They don't stop at all. That's when you see a quarterback following that back through the hole on the triple option.
Second quarter, Chase Dodd to Jeremy Deering. 20-yard gain sets up 1st and goal, but Rutgers couldn't punch it in. Settled for a field goal. They were trailing 7-3. Next possession, Army threatening. Jared Hassan up the middle, 6-yard score.
6-yard score indeed. Very tough running inside. A very disciplined rushing attack offensively for Army.
Black Knights take a 14-3 lead late in the second quarter, and this is a tough place for Rutgers to be in. We talked about halftime pregame show. The triple option, you want to be up on a team that runs the triple option to take them out of their offense. Now this is right where Army wants it to be, where they can just run and run and run.
They can, and Chase Dodd has been sacked 3 times so far in this football game, which means they're having trouble obviously protecting him, which means if they can't protect him and they can't make big plays, then that triple option becomes a very dangerous offense because they can keep the ball for a long, long time.
And let's go back to the type of person you're getting in that Army team. You're not getting the blue chippers that turn down Ohio State and Michigan to go to Army, but you're getting very disciplined individuals, guys that know their role, guys probably a little bit older from a maturation standpoint, but they're very disciplined. They run the ball very well. Everyone knows their role. You get a team like Army that's up. I mean, they're not going to blow a lead. They're not going to have a 15-yard. They're not going to do anything to mess this up.
And they get all kinds of fired up when guys like you say they're not blue chippers. Because they say, I could have gone to Louisville. I could have gone to Syracuse. I could have gone to Rutgers. I chose to go to Army. That's what they do, and that's how they get fired up, and that's why they get the successful.
And that's why they get up against these kind of teams that they're not supposed to be in
that's right.
physically.
No, you're absolutely right. All right, when we return, we'll get you caught up on Big East games already in the books. The only top 25 Big East team in action Thursday, hosting South Florida, and the battle, the Keg of Nails. Last night in Louisville provided tons of offensive fireworks. Highlights are next. Plus, we'll hear from Doug Marone on today's disappointing loss to Pitt and Dave Wannstedt as well. who had a good day for Pitt. Much more from the Syracuse-Pitt game when the post-game show returns after this.
Unfortunately, the breakfast scones will be replaced by breakfast muffins. Additionally, meat and cantaloupe will unfortunately be eliminated. You're asked to bring in your own fruit, perhaps even something handheld. Maybe that's an apple. For some, that might be a banana. All right, let's just keep it rolling. Page 79. Unfortunately, I'm called upon to review the dry erase board rules.
Are you paying more and more for cable and enjoying it less and less? Stop paying for second best. Upgrade to Verizon Fios and get TV, internet, and phone for just $89.99 a month for a year. And there's no term contract required. If you don't love Fios, you can cancel at any time with no early termination fee. Fios gives you what cable doesn't: the best channel lineup, superior picture quality, more HD options, and Facebook and Twitter right on your TV. Enjoy internet rated #1 in satisfaction, speed, and reliability 4 years in a row. Plus, you'll get premium installation with flexible dates and times that fit your schedule, including 24/7 tech support. Why keep paying for cable? Get Fios TV, internet, and phone for just $89.99 a month. Call 1-866-630-FIOS. That's 1-866-630-3467. It's time to get more for your money. It's time for Fios.
I'm Gary Apple. Coming up tonight on Geico Sportsnet, it's Lincecum and Halliday opening the National League Championship Series. Going to have that plus Game 2, Yanks and the Rangers. And a big day of Big East football, including Syracuse and Pittsburgh. It's all coming tonight.
It's UConn soccer on SNY. Big East rivals take the field as the Huskies return home to host the Mountaineers in Stores. West Virginia at UConn. Men's soccer. Coverage begins Tuesday at 7:30 on SNY.
Highlights from earlier in the week: West Virginia and South Florida. First quarter, West Virginia up 3-0. Geno Smith to Brad Starks.
Oh, Geno Smith has been sharp all year long, but he was outstanding on Thursday night.
31-yard touchdown, 10-0 Mountaineers. South Florida now trailing 10-3. Less than a minute left in the half. B.J. Daniels talking to the coaches. I don't think they told him to do this.
No, I don't think they tell you to run out of pocket and throw an interception. Very poor decision-making, thrown off balance by B.J. Daniels.
Robert Sands, the pick, critical turnover before halftime, set up West Virginia 1st and goal. This was the play of the week right here.
You love this.
I do.
Inside the 20, little flick and go.
Little hook and lateral. Smith to Jock Sanders to Noel Devine. Inside the red zone. I've never seen this inside the red zone.
I've never seen it. This ball has to exchange hands 3 times, talking about the quarter extended exchange, the initial pass, then the flip to Noel Devine. It takes a lot of trust on the field and not off to call that play inside the 15-yard line.
The Mountaineers go on to win it by a final of 20-6. And as you can see, Geno Smith, Noel Devine did not have a great game, but Geno Smith, 24 of 31, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, as West Virginia with a very solid win over South Florida. We are now joined by West Virginia head coach Bill Stewart, who's on the phone. Coach, thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you fine gentlemen today.
Well, and thank you for calling us fine gentlemen. Very few do that. Let's start off with, I've seen some hook and lateral plays in my time, Coach. Never in the red zone. What made you go with that play in that situation?
Well, the way they converge on the ball, they never lost leverage. And every ball we were throwing most of the night, we'd spread them out and throw it. They were making tackles, and we just felt like when we threw it down there to Jock, they would all converge to him. And then we tried to just out-leverage them, and it worked. And it was just a real great call by Jeff Mullen, our offensive coordinator, and the young men just executed it to a T.
Coach, you talk about execution. You guys looked so great the other night against South Florida. Talk a little bit about the pressure now that's on your program as being the front runner in the Big East Conference.
Well, we look at it as a golden opportunity, and I told the players that. I said, we went from being 4th or 5th ranked, which is okay. That's what the world's about. To now we're supposed to be the savior. Well, heck, there's no savior in the Big East. We're all good. It's a black and blue league, as we call it, because it's every game's physical. We come out there all banged up, and it's week in, week out. So we're still one of the top 4 or 5 teams, but we're a long, long way from being who's the sole representative of this league. I can assure you that, Donnie.
Coach Roman Oben here, and the West Virginia program has seen a lot of success at the quarterback position. Obviously, Pat White, last year, Jared Brown in one season as a starter, but now Geno Smith. Talk about just his maturity and his development as a sophomore and how significant he's been to this football team this year.
You bet, Roman. He's become our leader, so to speak, even though he is a sophomore. But, you know, they're starting to write folk hero stories about him, and then the Marshall comeback, and then this win here and how he kept his composure. The kid started 6 games, and he's still a young man, but he gets better each and every outing. And honest to gosh, he sees the field. He understands everything. Sometimes he tries to check us in too good of a play, you know, just letting the one stay on there. And he's going to learn that as each and every outing. He'll get better and better. But, man, he's really doing a great job of leading.
Coach, you got your team through a short week. Now you have the long week going to Syracuse. How do you manage your team through this long period of time until you play again? And what do you think of Syracuse coming up?
Well, first and foremost, you have to be smart with your time. Last week, we had, Jonas, 5 days to prepare, so I went out in helmets and vests all week, had no morning meetings. This week we're going back to normal. You know, we'll put some pads on there Tuesday, and we'll go back to a Wednesday a.m. meeting. And we'll get in our normal routine and try to get back on schedule of that. So you have to be smart. We're halfway through. We're 5-1. It's into 6, but it's game number 2 in the Big East. So we just got to stay in the flow and try to keep everything real even keel. And believe me, Syracuse has my attention. Guys, I'm telling you, I went in the day of the game. I couldn't sleep, never do. So I went in, and I was in there at 6:30 Thursday, 2 days ago, watching Syracuse's offensive drive against South Florida. That's how much respect I have for what Doug Marone's done.
West Virginia coach Bill Stewart. Coach, congratulations on the good start, and thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate it, and let's go Big East.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's go Big East. Cincinnati and Louisville opening up Big East play. Battling for the coveted keg of nails. Cincy up 7-0 in their own territory. Zach Collaros picked by Greg Scruggs. Louisville ball deep in Cincy territory. Ensuing drive, 11-yard line. Adam Froman, Josh Chichester.
Chichester, the former basketball player at University of Louisville. I'm sure Patino would love to have him this year, but much better in the fall in the end zone.
Chichester. From Froman, the Sausage King, Louisville, trailing 14-7, ball at their own 15. Bilal Powell, what a run.
Oh, Powell gets a couple of big blocks in there, but he does it, most of it himself. Takes it the distance, and that's the kind of run that gets the team fired up and gets you blocking better the next play.
Yeah, excellent run. Look at this guy. He's big enough to run you over, 215 pounds, 6 feet tall. He's really got that track speed once he gets out in the open, running hard and angry, and that's why you love to see running back do this in the open secondary.
Now 17-14 Cardinals. Powell again.
Yeah, Powell had a great night, obviously, last night, but you have to give that Cardinal front a lot of credit. They opened up some pretty big holes for him.
Bearcats down 24-21, but they come back. Gallarz to DJ Woods. What a catch this was in traffic.
Yeah, excellent catch in traffic. Good throw and catch. Focus. Look at the focus, concentration. No matter who was around him, he was going to come down with that football.
All right, Bearcats now up 28-27. 3rd and 9. Callaris up top. Armand Binns.
Armand, where are your bins, man? This is the guy. This was his game. He broke out. We've been waiting to see this all year long from this guy. He's a great receiver.
62 yards for the score. 35-27 Cincy. Louisville last chance. 4th and 8 or 4th and goal from the 8. They go for it. Froman, Josh Bellamy. Well, that moan means that the Keg of Nails is going to Cincinnati. They hold on to win 35-27. As once again, Roman's teams will always be sated for winning that Keg of Nails. This team, not the case this year. Callaris, 18-28, 275 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, and of course Powell, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. It was an exciting game to say the least. What did you see out of Callaris, a guy who did play plenty last year but is still growing into this job?
He's still growing into the job, and he's a tough quarterback. I like the way his moxie, as they call it. I thought he threw the ball very well. Obviously, 5 touchdowns. That's the kind of night you want to see your quarterback hitting his stride once you get into conference play.
Yeah, I mean, excellent job. You saw the Zach Callaris that you saw last year. Good decision-making across the field, finding his receivers in the open. Really a good day offensively for Cincinnati.
How about Bilal Powell? I mean, ran the ball so effectively. I would think, Louisville, a program once again trying to reestablish itself, has to be thrilled about that.
Well, they're very thrilled because it's interesting. You have a head coach in Charlie Strong who's really a defensive coordinator who's got that mindset. So at this point of the season, the offense is really ahead of the defense. Look what happened last week against Memphis. They beat them 65-zip. This week, defense is going to start to catch up. But when you look at a guy like Bilal Powell, what he did offensively, 200 yards rushing. Look at this big run. you really can see that this program is going in the right direction.
Yeah, you always want to see your offense when you get back on the run again, is to get that run game going, because that gives your offensive line some confidence. They can dig their hands in the ground, as you know. You can dig your hands.
You're going to block a little bit harder when you know a guy can hit those home runs.
That's exactly right.
Right, you're not blocking as hard when you know the guy's falling down after being first touchdown.
No, that's right, because you're looking back at him going, where is he? Where is he?
I don't block at all, as a matter of fact. All I do is take us to break. When we come back, we'll hear from Dave Wanstead on today's blowout. Plus, Don and Roman Graves, Syracuse and Pitt. Also, we'll hear from Doug Marone, the Big East postgame show. Back after this, 45-14 Pitt, the winner. Here's the highlights from our game today. Syracuse looking to go 2-0 in conference, hosting Pitt. Pitt's first play from scrimmage. Tino Sinceri to Devin Street. He's gone.
Yeah, Devin Street does this all by himself. It was a nice little short pass. Good blocking up front, but great play by Devin Street.
79 yards for the touchdown. 7-0 Pitt early. Syracuse now at their own 46. Ryan Nassib going deep. Alec Lemon, 41-yard gain.
Great job throwing the ball downfield. We needed to see a little bit more of this later in the game.
First down Orange. Later in the drive at the 6-yard line. DeLon Carter runs left. He'll get into the end zone.
Yeah, that's the one that they actually call back. In the next play, DeLon Carter goes over the top. They say his knee was down there, but they retained possession. That was actually a first down play. Next play, they come back. DeLon Carter goes up and ensures the score.
Actually, 2 plays later, Carter not denied. Syracuse ties the game at 7. Still first quarter. Pitt looking to strike back. Second and goal at the 15. Sinceri to Ray Graham.
I think there was some really miscommunication problems in the secondary. That soft spot between linebacker and the safety level, they capitalized offensively. Pittsburgh touchdown.
14-7 Pitt, and they're looking for more. Sinceri to Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, Sinceri I thought was sharp all day long. This is the kind of day they were expecting out of this young quarterback as he matures.
Panthers driving again, up 21-7. Ball at the Q's 38. Dion Lewis, we've been waiting for this all year.
This is the Dion Lewis we saw last year. Tough, hard running, likes to cut it outside. But if you're going to cut outside, you're on your own. 15 yards later, first down.
Same drive, first and goal. Lewis gets in the end zone.
Yeah, this Pitt offense really clicked on all levels in the pass game and the run game, especially in the inside run game.
28-7 at the half. Third quarter, Q's offense looking to get going. And what happens here?
Throwing off the back foot, not working to get across the field. Bad decision. 6 points for the other team.
Yeah, exactly. You can't throw it to the back foot, and that's exactly what Ryan Nassib did. He was forcing the ball, had a little pressure in his face, and threw the pick 6.
Ricky Gary, the pick and the score, 35-7 Panthers, 38-14 Pitt in the fourth. After a Syracuse fumble, first and goal, Sinceri to Brock DeChico, 6-yard score. That made it 45-14 Panthers, and that is, of course, how it ended as Syracuse, the good vibes up at the Carrier Dome, ended quickly today for them. Of course, they do have a good chance to bounce back. Pittsburgh, after a tough non-conference stretch, feeling very good about themselves as they enter conference play by getting a very, very good win. Here's Pitt head coach Dave Wanstead with our Eamon McEnany after the game.
You told us Pittsburgh needed to establish who it is. How close did you guys do that today?
Well, I thought defensively, we played probably as complete a game as we played all year. And I'll tell you what, I was really proud of our guys until we got sloppy a little bit at the end, but coming up here and dealing with the noise and the elements and traveling, I mean, we've played as tough a non-scheduled 3 games as anybody in the country, and I thought our kids, kept their focus today, and it was a good win. We got the run going, quarterback played good, so we're taking little steps, one step at a time.
All right, Coach Dave Wanstead had to be happy, but will he be happy with the grades given by Don McPherson to Pitt today? What'd you think?
Well, I think Coach Wanstead will be happy with the grades that his team got today. And I'll start with the offense. I gave the offense an A. You had 4 different receivers catch touchdown passes from quarterback Tino Sinceri. Defense, an A as well. Another 4. 4 turnovers forced, plus the pick 6. Special teams, I give them a B just because they were out there so much. They just couldn't sustain a little strong attack for so many kickoffs that they had. 8 total in the game. And overall, I give them a B+. The reason for the B+, 10 penalties, 99 yards. They have to clean that up if they're going to win the Big East.
All right, how about Syracuse, Roman?
Well, for Professor Oven, I'm going to give the offense, give them a C-. You look at what they did offensively. Lemon had a good day receiving the ball, 108 yards, but they just couldn't have the firepower to match what Pittsburgh's offense did. For the defense, Q's put the D in defense today, so they're going to get a D+ for their defense. Really some problems I saw today in the secondary. I think that's what Pitt saw in film. in the weeks coming to this game. Special teams, really the only burst that I saw. I'm going to give them a C+. You saw the returners really fighting for field position, trying to help the offensive defense, trying to help the coverage units. Overall, C- for the team. Not quite the Cuse team we expected to see today, but they still have a long way to go, but they do have the people to get it there.
You know, normally when I hear people say we put the D in defense, it's a good thing.
No.
Not the case here. What do you guys think in the end? Did Syracuse just show they're not ready to make that next step today by playing one of the perennial big teams in the Big East, or was it just one game?
I think you have to say it's just one game, considering they came into this football game 4-1. But this is obviously the team that a lot of people expected to struggle in the Big East this year. And it's also on the other side of the ball, the team that we thought was the best team in the Big East going into the season. So it was really a tale of a lot of bad perception by a lot of people watching both of these programs from the outside.
And as a football player and a football team, they're obviously not where they were last year, the year before. They still going in the right direction, but today wasn't their day. You still have to root for where they've gone at this point. How you handle adversity, how they bounce back from today is really going to be the measure of where the Syracuse program is going down the season.
Coming up next, who makes our cut for Beasts of the East? Plenty of options to pick from when we come back, and we'll also hear from Doug Marrone. It's all coming up when we come back.